The Wildcats are looking for revenge and looking to celebrate senior night in style as the Alburnett Pirates come to town. Central City was swept by the Pirates in Alburnett earlier this season, and tonight the Pirates come to Central City. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's presentation of Wildcat Basketball on the Wildcat Sports YouTube page and the NFHS Network. I'm David Warrington, and we're getting set for a Tri-Rivers West matchup tonight between the Pirates and the Wildcats. And before we get started, I have to give a shout out to our sponsor, Heartland Bank. Heartland Bank is a proud supporter of Central City Wildcat Sports. At Heartland Bank, we recognize more than ever the need to support local customers and organizations in our communities. As your community bank, we're here for you. It's a big night of basketball here in Central City, is about 9 minutes away from getting started. We've got a girls and boys doubleheader as the Alburnett Pirates come to town to take on Central City. It was a Pirate sweep in Alburnett back in December. Wildcats looking to turn the tables here tonight. Let's take a look at both of the teams competing here tonight. First up for Central City. They enter 4-16, 2-10 in the Tri-Rivers West. They lost on Tuesday against North Lynn by a final of 78-33. Assistant coach for the Wildcats is Andy Smith. Central City's head coach in his second season is Al Fear. During his time with the Wildcats, Coach Fear with a record of 17 wins and 26 losses. Players to watch for Central City include Bailey Weber. Weber is a junior, averaging 17 points per night, third best in the Tri-Rivers West. Adds in 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and a couple of steals. Also a couple of freshmen to look out for. First up is Lexi Dedeker, averaging 5.5 points, nearly 5 rebounds, and 2 assists per night. And finally, Sloan Smith, also a freshman, averaging 5 points per game, leading rebounder at 6.5 per contest. And now for tonight's opponent, the Alburnett Pirates. Pirates come into this game with a record of 10-7 on the season. They are 6-6 in Tri-Rivers West Conference play. Assistant coach for the Pirates is Josh Caves. Alburnett's head coach in his 7th season is Brendan Drawn. During his time with the Pirates, Coach Drawn with a record of 81 wins and 69 losses. Pirates come in with a win over Starmont on Tuesday. That was on their home floor in Alburnett by a final of 67-18. And here are some Pirates to keep your eye on. First up, we have Allie Olmstead, the 6'2 junior, averaging 12.5 points per night, leading the team in scoring. Also the leading rebounder, 13.5 rebounds per night. That is second most in all of Class 2A. Also got to look out for Lacey Neighbor. She will play off the bench tonight, as she has all year, but she's quite the player. 9 points per game off the bench, 4.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists, and a couple of steals. And finally, Savannah Caves will be a standout player for the Pirates, nearly 8 points per contest, 4.5 rebounds, and is the team leader with 2 steals per contest. Since 2008, it is Alburnett leading the series, 21 games to 10, but the Wildcats have won 4 of the last 6. As I mentioned, it was a Pirate sweep in Alburnett back on December 16th earlier this year. Pirates took down the Wildcats in the girls' game by a final of 59-36. We're about 6.5 minutes away from tipping this one off. Of course, we'll meet the starters and sing the anthem first. But here's a look at what's been going on around the conference so far this week. On the girls' side of things, back on Monday, there were a couple of non-conference games, including these same Alburnett Pirates hosted Montezuma and got a big-time victory by a final of 42-39. Also had Midland going on the road to take on HLV, and the Eagles took down the Warriors on the road 63-43. On Tuesday, it was a full night of conference action. And on the west side, Northland came here to Central City, and the Lynx won at 78-33. Edgewood Colesburg hit the road and took down East Buchanan 48-46 in a game that went down to the wire. Springville went to Maquoketa Valley and got the victory 44-43. And to round things out, Alburnett hosted Starmont. It was a dominant win for the Pirates, 67-18. There were 3 games on the west side. Midland went to Marquette Catholic, but it was the Mohawks getting the win 71-33. Calamus Wheatland protected their home floor against Lisbon, winning 53-29. And the Easton Valley Riverhawks took care of North Cedar over at Easton Valley. Final there was 54-43. Then to round out the night of action, Prince of Peace went to Wilton in non-conference play, but Wilton came away victorious 53-30. There was some non-conference play last night as well. Durant went to Lisbon, but a final score has yet to be posted as of the time I put this together. Marquette Catholic went to Maquoketa and fell 74-36. And Midland hit the road at 2A 13th-ranked West Liberty. It was West Liberty getting the victory 61-34. Around the conference tonight here in Central City, it's a matchup between the Pirates and the Wildcats. Starmont is at Springville, East Buchanan is at Northland, and Maquoketa Valley is at Edgewood-Colesburg. Over on the east side, we've got Easton Valley at Lisbon, North Cedar at Midland, and Calamus-Wheatland is at Prince of Peace. So with that said, here's a look at the updated conference standings here on the west side. First up, we have Starmont bringing up the rear. They are 0-12 in conference play. Central City is 7th at 2-10. That brings us to Edgewood-Colesburg. They're a game under 500 at 5-7. Maquoketa Valley and Alburnett both sitting at 500 at 6-6. East Buchanan is 7-5. Springville is in second at 10-2, and Northland leading the conference at a unblemished 12 wins without a loss. So Northland well on their way to being the conference champions. In fact, if they win here tonight, let me remind myself who they're playing. They are hosting East Buchanan. So if they can take down the Buccaneers, which on paper they should, but East Buck is a pretty good team in their own right, the Lynx would be the conference champions here on the west side with a 2-game lead and only 2 games to go. With that said, here is a look at tonight's starting lineups. These are official. I checked over with the scorers table, had a chance to do so. And these are the official starting lineups for tonight's matchup. First up, we'll start with Alburnett. We've got a 5'6" junior. This is Peyton Scott. 4.5 points per game on the season. A couple of rebounds, 1 assist, and 1.5 steals. At a guard is Ava Armin, a 5'4" senior. 7 points per night, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1.5 steals. At the point guard position is Isabel Grabard, a 5'5" junior. Nearly 5 points per game, 3 rebounds, and a team best 3.7 assists with 1.5 steals. Then they've got their star player at a forward is Allie Olmstead, a 6'2" junior, leading the way in rebounding and scoring. 12.5 points, 13.5 rebounds. Again, that rebounding figure is second best in Class 2A. 1 assist, couple of steals, and 1.8 blocks, which leads the Tri-Rivers West. And rounding out the starting 5 is Savannah Caves, a 5'6" junior. Nearly 8 points per contest, 4.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists, and a steal. We've also got Lucy Smith, the lone senior. They'll be recognized between games here on senior night. Lucy is averaging 2.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, and an assist. We've got another freshman, Lexi Dedeker, 5.5 points per night for her, 5 rebounds, couple of assists, and a steal. Then we've got the junior, Bailey Weber, Central City's leading scorer at 17 points per game, 3rd leading scorer in the Tri-Rivers West. Adds in 4 rebounds, team best 3 assists, and a team best 2 steals with half a block. And rounding out the starting 5 for the Wildcats is another freshman. This is Sloan Smith, Lucy's little sister, averaging 5 points per night. Team best rebounder at 6.5 per contest, half an assist, and not quite half a steal. So there are your starting 5s for both sides. 3 freshmen in the starting 5 for Central City, alongside a junior and a senior. It is a more upper class heavy starting 5. In fact, they're all upperclassmen for Alburnett. A couple of seniors and some juniors in that starting group. We are about a minute out from opening tip here in Central City. Again, this is a girls and boys doubleheader. The girls up first and the boys are next. We've got a heck of a game coming up in the girls game as well. Certainly stick around on the coverage for that. 2A 9th-ranked Alburnett coming to town after this game, but certainly have an exciting girls matchup as well here tonight, and that one is moments away. 8 minutes are set on the clock, and we are just about set to meet the starting lineups. I will follow along with Mrs. Hackman, who is on the microphone here in the public address announcing tonight. And we will officially meet tonight's starting lineups as the Alburnett Pirates take on the Central City Wildcats here in Central City. Wildcats 4-16, 2-10 in the Tri-Rivers West. Pirates are 10-7, 6-6 in conference play. And here are the starting 5. First, for the Pirates, a 5'6" junior, number 2, Peyton Scott. For the Wildcats, a freshman, number 5, Avery Wise. For the Pirates, a 5'4" senior, number 11, Ava Armin. For the Wildcats, a senior, number 20, Lucy Smith. For the Pirates, a 5'5" junior, number 12, Isabel Grabard. For the Wildcats, a freshman, number 22, Lexi Dedeker. For the Pirates, a 6'2" junior, number 21, Allie Olmstead. For the Wildcats, a junior, number 23, Bailey Weber. For the Pirates, a 5'6" junior, number 23, Savannah Caves. And for the Wildcats, a freshman, number 31, Sloan Smith. Assistant coach for the Pirates is Josh Caves. Seventh-year head coach is Brendan Drawn. Central City's assistant coach is Andy Smith. Second-year head coach is Al Fear. At this time, we will pause for the performance of our national anthem. Anthem has been performed, and we are set to go here from Central City. One more time, your starting five: Scott, Arman, Grabard, Olmstead, and Caves for the Pirates. Wise, Smith, Dedeker, Weber, and Smith for the Wildcats. Central City wearing their home whites, Wildcats across the chest in red, black numerals, and black trim down the sides. Alburnett in their road purple uniforms, Pirates across the chest in white, white numerals with white and gold trim down the sides of the jersey and the shorts. Bailey Weber will jump center for Central City. She will do so opposite Allie Olmstead. Wildcats working left to right, Pirates working right to left. And we've got 8 minutes on the clock. Ball is in the air. Opening tap controlled by the Pirates. And we are underway. Grabard into the front court for Alburnett. Goes left wing to Caves. As the Wildcats starting something of his own defense, trying to keep the ball away from their leading scorer, Allie Olmstead. Grabard has it right wing. Goes top of the key to Arman. Dribbling to her left, gives it over to Scott. Now into the corner, the Caves going baseline, picks it up. Looking around, gets it back out to Scott. Down to 14 in the shot clock. Arman fakes the corner three. Now gives it top of the key to Grabard. Down to 8 seconds for the Pirates. Caves takes a three from the left corner, and she buries it. Savannah Caves gets our scoring started tonight with a triple from the left corner. It's 3-0 Pirates. Full court press here from Alburnett. Bailey Weber gets it ahead to Lexi Dedeker. Inside, Lucy Smith, the step through. That's no good, however. And it's rebounded by Allie Olmstead. She is the second best rebounder in terms of rebounds per game in Class 2A. Arman has it in the left corner, dribbling up, goes top of the key. Now it'll go into the backcourt, and that will be a backcourt violation. A little bit too tall for Scott that time. She couldn't handle it off the fingertips. Goes into the backcourt, and that is over and back. Goes back to Central City. Nearly a minute gone here in the opening quarter. 3-0 Alburnett is our score as Weber gives into the front court to Dedeker. Dedeker gives it to Wise in the left wing. Dribbling right, gives it to Weber near the half-court line. Dribbling right. Weber hands off to Wise near the right wing. Wise tries to go inside, poked by Olmstead, stolen by Grabard. She'll look to run the fast break, does not have numbers. Goes at Sloan Smith, throws it up, good D, but on the offensive rebound and the putback is Allie Olmstead. She gets it to go. Pirates lead 5-0, minute and a half gone here in the opening quarter. Bailey Weber splits a double team in the backcourt, but loses the basketball, taken away by Scott. Pirates go inside, looking for Caves. Wise stepped up and poked it loose. That will be last touched by Alburnett. And it goes to Central City. We've got a timeout on the floor called by Coach Fear. And this will be a 30-second timeout. Just wants to draw something up on the clipboard, it looks like. So not quite 2 minutes gone here in the opening quarter. It is Alburnett 5 and Central City 0. Three-pointer from Savannah Caves opened the scoring, and Allie Olmstead added a putback layup to get the Pirates to their 5 points. No subs for Central City, still the Smiths with Wise, Dedeker, and Weber. No subs either for Alburnett. Starting 10 players are still on the floor for both teams. Pirates are set up in a full-court press. Weber will inbound. Dedeker and Wise are in the backcourt to try to help her out. Inbounds pass goes to Dedeker, back to Weber. Into the front court to Wise. A little too tall, but she tracks it down. Going inside to Lucy Smith. Turns, puts it up, and that is good. Lucy Smith opens the scoring for the Wildcats. And it's 5-2. Pirate basketball, left corner to Scott. Goes left wing to Armin. That is Caves. Now back to Scott in the corner. Scott driving in, picks up her dribble. Out to Caves, just keeps it from going into the backcourt. Finds Grabard, kicks it out. Scott, long two-pointer from the left wing, and she puts it in. Peyton Scott with her feet just across the line, knocks down a long two, and it's 7-2. Scoreboard reads 8-2, but I believe it is 7-2. Wildcats go inside to Sloan Smith. She gathers, puts it up, but can't get it to go. And once again, the long arms of Allie Olmstead secure the rebound. Short corner to Scott, now back out, top of the key to Caves, driving in, stops in the paint, throws up a floater. Really nice move on the inside from Savannah Caves. She's got 5 points, and it is 9-2 Alburnett. Wildcats, something of a slow start here tonight. They're having some trouble with this Alburnett full-court press. Sloan Smith has the basketball, gets it to Dedeker, now top of the key to Wise, left wide open for a three, and she buries it. Avery Wise knocks in a triple. She's been shooting the ball very well as of late. Was left all alone on that one, and she puts it in. It's 9-5, 3 minutes gone in the ball game. On the other side, Caves can't get it to go. Weber with a chance to run out. Nobody in front of her. Takes her time, lays it up, and we're back to a 2-point game. Bailey Weber starts her scoring here on the evening, and it's 9-7 Alburnett. Pirates give it to Scott in the left corner. Her triple's a little bit too long, and it's rebounded by Dedeker. Dedeker into the front court. Up to Weber. Has it right wing. Gives the handoff to Wise. Now top of the key to Lucy Smith. Miscommunication. Weber trying to cut inside. Smith ends up throwing it away. And it goes back to Alburnett. A couple of subs for Central City as Lexi Hennick, as well as Savannah Cook are into the ball game for the first time. So a sub for Alburnett as Miranda Neighbor, a 5'5 freshman, is also into the ball game for the first time tonight. Caves driving in for Alburnett, kicks it out to Armin, right corner. Trying to go inside, gets past Cook for the moment. Layup, no, but she is fouled. And Ava Armin earns a trip to the free throw line. Armin, a 54% free throw shooter on the season, and she will shoot two. That's the first foul of the game, and it will go against Savannah Cook as also her first. Armin yet to score so far tonight, averages 7 points per night. Had a really nice ball game when the Wildcats played over at Alburnett earlier this season. Puts in the first free throw, makes it 10-7 Alburnett. 4:09 to go in the opening quarter, nearly halfway through the opening 8 minutes. Second free throw on the way from Armin. That one is no good, gets one of two. It's rebounded by Savannah Cook, and she'll look to run. Now finds Bailey Weber, who crosses the timeline. Left wing to Wise. Goes inside to Sloan Smith, gives it back to Wise. Short corner jumper on the way. That is no good, and it's rebounded by Olmstead. Caves looking to run for Alburnett. Crosses into the front court, now slows things down, guarded by Weber. Now goes left wing to Neighbor. It's Miranda Neighbor with the basketball, gives it over to Caves. Now going inside. Grabard puts up a floater from the paint, and she puts it in. Pirates spreading the wealth so far. Only one player has more than one field goal in the night. Well, they've got 12 points as a team, and they lead 12-7. Weber trying to get to the rim. Has it poked away, stolen by Grabard. Really nice defense while she was driving from Neighbor. Caves puts up a long two. It's off the mark, and Avery Wise clears the rebound for Central City. Wise crosses into the front court. Gives it left wing to Bailey Weber. Uses a screen from Wise. Uses another one from Hennick. trying to find some room. Some good Pirate defense so far. Hennick straight on triple on the way, and she buries it. Lexi Hennick found herself wide open, puts up the three-pointer, and she knocks it down. Wildcats not going away here in the opening frame. It's 12-10. 3 minutes to go until the end of the first. Floater on the other end from Neighbor is off the mark, but they are going to call a foul. And Miranda Neighbor will go to the free throw line. The Central City's second foul, just the second foul on either team, in fact. Alburnett has not had one called yet. And that one was called on Avery Wise. That is her first. First free throw on the way from Neighbor. That is going to be no good. Bounces off the rim. Both teams have a sub. As for the Pirates, we've got Lacey Neighbor into the game. She's one of the players to watch, but she does not start for this team. Does average 9 points per game, however. For Central City, Macy Lupkus is into the game for the first time tonight. As Neighbor knocks in the second free throw, she goes 1 of 2. Her first point of the ball game. It's 13-10 Pirates. Avery Wise has the basketball, gives it to Cook, right wing. Tries to go inside to Weber, but it's poked and stolen away by Neighbor. Making her impact shown right when she gets into the ball game. She also gets the assist on the other end as Lacey Neighbor runs in transition and finds Savannah Caves. 7 points for Caves, and it's 15-10 Pirates. Wise jogging it up into the front court. Goes high post to Bailey Weber. She's double teamed. Gets it out to Hennick, top of the key. Fakes the three, gives it over to Weber. She will take a three-pointer, just right of straight on, and she buries it. Three-pointer is drained by Bailey Weber. She's got 5, and the Wildcats just won't go away. Every time the Pirates get a little run going, they get a big timely shot here in the opening quarter. 15-13 our score, 2 minutes till the end of the first. Inside jumper is good as Lacey Neighbor gets her first bucket. Took a jumper from the elbow on the right side and puts it in. Pirates lead is back to 4 at 17-13. Wise fakes the triple from the left wing. Looking around, taking her time, now hands it off to Weber. Weber has it left wing, uses a screen from Hennick, stops, thought about a three. Now she does not have her dribble, gets rid of it to Cook. Cook brings it out to the left wing, top of the key to Hennick. Back near the volleyball line, chucks a very deep three-pointer. That's off the window, no good. Tracks down her own rebound, finds Lupkus, and she can't get it to go on the inside of the point-blank look, but could not get it to fall. Caves into the front court. Driving in, stops in the paint, it's blocked out of bounds. Macy Lupkus stretches those arms and sends it out of play. Will stay with the Pirates. Lucy Smith and Lexi Dedeker back into the game for Central City. Also have Belle Whitson into the game for the first time. And for Alburnett, looks like Gravard back into the game as well. Gravard has a top of the key. Goes left wing to Neighbor. This is Miranda Neighbor. Now back to Gravard, top of the key. Goes inside to Lacey Neighbor. Stops in the paint, kicks it out. Armin, open triple from the right corner. That's off the mark. Rebound is free, and it's picked up by Armin. Gets her own rebound after the missed three. Inside, Lacey Neighbor. Fall-away jumper. My apologies. That is Olmstead on the jumper. And it is good. 4 points for Allie Olmstead. It is 19-13 Alburnett. Under a minute to go in the opening quarter. Whitson has the top of the key. Hands it off to Weber. Weber guarded by Neighbor here. Uses the screen. Splits a double team. Throws up a floater from the paint. And that's a beautiful move and a beautiful finish by Weber. She's got 7 here in the opening quarter. And it should be 19-15. Barely any difference whatsoever between the shot and game clock. Pirates can essentially hold for one, but they will not as it's taken away by Belle Whitson. 2-on-1 fast break. Whitson's going to take it herself. Puts it up and puts it in. Transition layup is good from Whitson, and we've got a 2-point ball game, 19-17. Shot clock is now off for Alburnett. Armin has it left corner. Driving in. Dumps it down to Neighbor. Lacey Neighbor puts it up. It's blocked by Lupkus again. Again, Lupkus gets the block. Wildcats are going to get a chance for another shot. Smith gets it. No, it's taken away by Neighbor. 2 seconds. Neighbor driving in. It's blocked. No good. And that will do it for the opening quarter of play. Lexi Dedeker drops back and blocks the shot. Really clutch play to save an easy look at the basket to end that opening quarter. Very fun 8 minutes of play to begin this ball game. And after 8 minutes, it is Alburnett 19 and Central City 17. So here's a look at our scoring numbers after 8 minutes of play in this one. First up for Alburnett, they were led by Savannah Caves. She had 7 points in the opening 8 minutes. Allie Olmstead had 4. Also had Lacey Neighbor adding in 2, as did Isabel Gravard. Ava Armin and Miranda Neighbor both had 1. For Central City, Bailey Weber had 7 points to lead the way for the Wildcats. Avery Wise and Lexi Hennick both added 3. Belle Whitson and Lucy Smith both added 2 points for Central City. Again, our score after a quarter is 19-17. Alburnett on top of Central City by just a couple of points. On the floor for the Wildcats to begin the second quarter are the Smiths with Dedeker, Wise, and Weber. Pirates are going with the Neighbors, Armin, Grabard, and Olmsted. Wildcat ball to begin the second quarter of play. Lexi Dedeker will inbound to Bailey Weber. And we are underway here in quarter number 2. Weber crosses into the front court, greeted right away by Neighbor. Goes high post to Lucy Smith. They fake the give and go. Right wing triple open for Avery Wise. That is going to be good. A kiss off the window, and it is good. Avery Wise knocks down her second triple of the ball game, and the Wildcats lead it for the first time, 20-19. Grabard goes inside to Lacey Neighbor. Takes one hard dribble, kicks it out. Armin, right wing triple on the way. That one is no good. Too strong off the back of the iron. Rebound is loose and picked up by Sloan Smith. Dedeker crosses into the front court. Now gives to Bailey Weber. 30 seconds gone here in the second quarter. Dedeker, short corner jumper on the way, off the mark. It's going to be tipped out of bounds. Last touched by Alburnett. Stays with Central City with 23 on the shot clock. And now the clock is running. I hope they stop that quickly, and they do. Only a couple seconds ran off. Savannah Caves back into the game for Alburnett. She's their leading scorer so far with 7 points on the night. Weber has it right wing. Caves right up in her grill, playing tight defense. Looks like something of a trapping 2-3 from the Pirates at the moment. Weber tries to go inside to Smith, but it's taken away by Lacey Neighbor. Grabard into the front court. Gives it over to Caves, top of the key. Now right wing to Miranda Neighbor. Fakes the pass, now goes back out to Caves. Caves trying to get in, dumps it into the corner. Neighbor, three-pointer on the way. That's a little bit short off side of the rim and rebounded by Lexi Dedeker. Dedeker sends it into the front court to Wise. Back to Dedeker, going up on the inside, throws it up, no good, and it's rebounded by Lacey Neighbor. Grabard into the front court. 2019 Central City, 6.5 to go in the second quarter. Caves has it top of the key, dribbling to her left, picks it up, now right wing, now inside. Goes inside to Lacey Neighbor. Her shot is tipped and partially blocked by Sloan Smith. Smith gets the rebound, and Wise crosses into the front court. Goes to Weber on the right wing. Now high post to Smith. Fakes the jumper. Ball is loose. It's taken away by Miranda Neighbor. Nearly thrown away as Olmsted wasn't ready for it. But it is saved, and now Neighbor crosses into the front court. Grabard has it poked loose. It's on the ground. It's going to be picked up by Lucy Smith. Wildcats force the turnover, and they get it back. Bailey Weber crossing into the front court for Central City. 5:45 to play until the break. 2019 Wildcats. Weber takes one hard dribble, throws one up. It is good, and the foul. Bailey Weber has 9 points, chance to make it 10 as Alburnett is called for their first foul of the ball game. It will result in a couple of free throws for Bailey Weber. Win against Lacey Neighbor, and that is her first. Savannah Cook back into the game for Central City, as is Lexi Hennick. For Alburnett, Peyton Scott back into the ball game. So Weber will shoot one. She is a 68% free throw shooter on the season, and she puts that one in, completes the traditional three-point play. She's got 10, and the Wildcats lead it 23-19. Pirate basketball here. Caves goes inside to Lacey Neighbor, spins around, goes to Scott in the left corner, driving baseline, kicks it back out to Neighbor. Fakes the jumper, now goes to Caves right wing, driving in, stops, throws one up off the window, too strong, no, but the rebound and the putback is good from Lacey Neighbor. 4 points for Neighbor, and it's back to a 2-point game, 23-21 Central City. Wise has it left wing, now will put up a three-pointer for Central City, and she knocks it in. Avery Wise puts in her third triple of the ball game. She's got 9 points. And the Wildcats have their biggest lead of the game, 26-21. 5 minutes till the break. And we got an offensive foul on Peyton Scott. Sloan Smith stood in, kept her ground, and is rewarded with the charge call on Scott. Her first foul, Alburnett's second. It's back to Central City. Bailey Weber into the front court, guarded by Scott. Uses a screen, now guarded by Caves. Weber left alone, pulls up for an open jumper, but she's just off the mark on that one. It's rebounded by Lacey Neighbor. Neighbor into the front court for the Pirates. Picks up her dribble, now goes left wing to Miranda Neighbor. She picks up her dribble, goes back to Scott. Picks up her dribble, now back to Neighbor left wing. Inside, nice step through move from Lacey Neighbor, and she is fouled and will be rewarded with a couple of free throws. Foul is going to go against Savannah Cook, and that is her second, team's third, as Lacey Neighbor will shoot two. On the year, Neighbor is the best free throw shooter on the team in terms of percentage at 63%. First one from Neighbor on the way, and that is no good. A little too strong off the back iron once it got into the cup. And she will shoot one more. Just 5 fouls so far between the two teams combined. These refs have pretty much been letting them play. And it's been consistent, so no complaints so far from anyone, I wouldn't think. As that second free throw is also no good, but Savannah Caves tracks down the offensive rebound. Olmsted tries to send it out, does get it out of there, and finds Scott. Left wing, triple on the way is no good from Neighbor. The rebound is loose, and it's going to be secured by Cook. She sends it ahead down the floor to Weber. Weber stops, now goes top of the key to Hennick. Right wing to Wise. Tries to go inside. It's just barely saved by Cook. She's double teamed, in some trouble, steps through and finds Sloan Smith. She's looking around, in some trouble as well. Finds Avery Wise. She's hot so far tonight. She can't get that one to go, halfway down and falls out. And they're going to get a foul on Bailey Weber on the back end of the play. That'll be Central City's 4th, and it will be Bailey's first foul of the ball game. Back into the game for Central City is Macy Lupkus. She's been a big presence defensively so far tonight, and a couple of emphatic blocks on that side of the floor. Neighbor into the front court for Alburnett, goes left wing to Scott, high post to Lacey Neighbor, and she walked, took a couple of steps without dribbling the basketball, so it goes back to Central City. Got a comment from Keegan Kula. Go David and go Cats. Keegan, hope you're doing well, buddy, and thanks so much for listening in. Should be in for a fun night of basketball here tonight. Just halfway through our second quarter here in the girls' game, 26-21 Central City. Nice give-and-go move. Bailey Weber going inside and gets it to go off the assist from Lucy Smith. It's a dozen points already for Weber, and it's 28-21 Central City. Caves throws one up on the inside. No good. Offensive rebound nearly picked up, but Macy Lupkus gets on the ground and saves the basketball. Up ahead, Weber in a 2-on-2. Throws it up off the glass, and she gets it to go. That's 14 points for Bailey Weber. Just barely halfway through the first half. 28-21, or 30-21, I'm sorry. 3:24 to go until the break. And Alburnett needs a timeout. The Pirates are going to use a 30-second timeout. Both teams have used 1:30. And again, it is 30-21. Central City. Bears repeating. This game was out of hand by the half when they played in Alburnett. Wildcats coming out and playing one heck of a ball game so far tonight. And they have it up to a 9-point advantage. They weathered the storm in the first quarter when the Pirates were hoping to get this one to a comfortable margin. Wildcats wouldn't let that happen, and they've kept up the strong offense, and now they find themselves up by 9 points. Wildcats going with Lucy Smith, Lupkus, Cook, Wise, and Weber. As it is Pirate basketball, Caves inbounds to Miranda Neighbor. And Neighbor crosses into the front court, greeted by Weber immediately when she does so. Goes right wing to Scott, high post on the right elbow to Neighbor, steps through, throws one up. It's blocked partially by Lupkus, her third block of the ball game. And it's back to Central City. Wise has it left wing for the Wildcats, gives to Weber. Thought about a deep triple, but is guarded by Scott closely. Uses a screen from Smith, driving to her right, sends it back. Wise fakes the three, now gives it back to Weber on the right wing. Under 3 minutes to play in the opening half, as Smith has it in the right corner, dribbles up and hands it off to Wise. Wise dribbling to her right, hands it off to Weber. She'll take a three-pointer. That's just off the mark. Rebounded by Savannah Caves. Caves way down the floor, finds Scott, and it's going to be partially tipped, but they are going to get a foul on Macy Lupkus, and Scott will go to the free throw line to shoot two. Foul is Macy Lupkus' first and Central City's fifth. Peyton Scott going to the free throw line where she'll shoot two on the year, a 60% free throw shooter. Has 2 points so far on the night. First one is just a touch wide left and off the back iron. No good, as we've got Belle Whitson as well as Lexi Dedeker back into the game for Central City. Avery Wise and Savannah Cook going to the bench. Second free throw on the way from Scott, and that one is good. Takes a friendly roll off the rim and into the hoop. Scott goes 1 of 2. Give her 3 points in the night, and she is replaced by Ava Arman. Wildcat basketball. Full court press is off, but Bailey Weber will be greeted by Miranda Neighbor as soon as she crosses the timeline. Has it just over half court. Goes high post on the right elbow to Lucy Smith. Now gives it to Belle Whitson on the left wing. Whitson gives it to Lupkus, short corner. Now dribbling up left wing. Hands it off left wing to Whitson now. Wildcats trying to move the basketball here. Finds Smith. Now back to Whitson. Little give and go. Throws one up. Off balance shot is no good, and Olmsted pulls in the rebound. Savannah Caves bringing it up for the Pirates. Gives it to Armin on the left wing. Tries to find Caves, taken away by Bailey Weber. It's a one-on-one race to the rim. Nice step-through move, and it's good from Bailey Weber. What a first half she is putting together. That's 16 first-half points. We're still 2 minutes away from the break. It is 32-22, as on the other end, the little runner is good for Alburnett. Weber crosses into the front court for Central City. 32-24 our score. We're going to have an over and back called on Central City as they turn it over back to the Pirates. Coach Fear getting a quick explanation from the official. Gives him a nod, and we will play on. Minute 40 to go until halftime. Armin has it right wing for Alburnett. Gives it top of the key to Caves. Now inside, Lacey Neighbor finds herself open. Not quite quick enough on the rotation there. And Lacey Neighbor now has 6 points for the Pirates. Pirates trying to get this one a little bit closer. Believe it is 32-26. Scoreboard has not been updated yet. Minute 15 to go until halftime. Whitson has it left wing. Hands it off to Weber. It is now 32-26 officially. Weber has it stripped and taken away by Miranda Neighbor. I've been very impressed with the defensive prowess from this freshman guard for Alburnett so far tonight. Neighbor gives it over to Caves in the front court. Has it left wing. Goes high post. Lacey Neighbor driving it on Lupkus. Stops, swings it backside. Fake three by Armin. She puts up a runner from the baseline, no good. The rebound is on the floor. There's a race for it. A couple of players getting on the ground. It will result in a jump ball. And it goes back to Central City on the possession arrow. Sloan Smith, Avery Wise, and Savannah Cook back into the game for the Wildcats. Belle Whitson, Macy Lupkus, and Lucy Smith will go to the bench. 43 seconds to play until the break. It is 32-26 Central City. We've got a conversation. It looks like at some point the jump ball arrow is not reset, so it will instead be Alburnett basketball. The Pirates have it underneath their own basket. Armin to inbound. Everybody else in a box around the paint. Wildcats in a 2-3 to defend the inbounds play. Armin gets it in to Caves, top of the key. Now goes back to Armin in the right corner. Short corner now. Dump down pass to Lacey Neighbor. She can't get it to go. Goes over the back of Savannah Cook. Pretty blatant on that one. Should have a height advantage, but not that much of a height advantage, as they will call Lacey Neighbor for her second foul, team foul number 3. Wildcats have it with a 2.5 second difference between shot and game clock as we close in on the halftime break here from Central City. Savannah Cook fakes the give to Wise, now driving in, uses a screen, stops in the short corner, gets it out to Weber. Weber has it on the right corner, now dribbling up towards right wing, hands it off to Wise. 20 seconds with 19 in the shot clock. Dedeker driving in, kicks it out. Cook has it left wing, gives to Weber. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Smith spinning around in some trouble, just avoids a jump ball. Wise has it top of the key. Down to 5 seconds in the shot clock. Cook driving in, stops. And we're going to get, looks like, a timeout called by Central City. Coach Fear uses the timeout with 4.5 on the game clock, 2 on the shot clock. This is a 30-second timeout, final 30-second timeout of the night for Coach Fear, and the Wildcats does still have all 3 fulls. Pirates have 3 fulls and a 30. So 32-26 again our score. These very, very young Wildcats have been looking better and better every time I've called one of their ball games. And this is about the best I've seen them. This is a team that ran them out of the gym over in Alburnett back in December, but that just is a testament to how much this team has grown in a little over a month since that time. Wildcats back on the floor, 2 seconds on the shot clock again. So Coach Fear, I would assume, just drawing up a quick hitter to get a shot up within 2 seconds. Bailey Weber will inbound. Everybody else in a box. 4.5 seconds on the game clock. And again, just 2 on the shot clock. Weber gets it into Sloan Smith. She's left alone. They got to get one up. The play was not run nearly fast enough, and the shot clock expires. That is a shot clock violation. Less than a second on the clock. It is 0.9, but they're going to put some time back on as it ran a little bit longer than it should have. So the Pirates will get a chance to throw something up before the horn. And now we will have a stoppage as the clock hadn't been reset. Currently reads 0.9. I believe they want it closer to 2 seconds. And now it is at 2 seconds. I think we're going to play out these final couple of ticks of the clock. Nearly halfway through this one, but the first of all before we are halfway through it. Pirates get to shoot. Quick full court shot. Cave takes a couple of dribbles, chucks one up from beyond half court, and that is off the mark. And that will do it for the opening half of play here from Central City. So a great second quarter by Central City, and they lead Alburnett by a score of 32-26 halfway through this ball game. We'll have some halftime numbers here for you in just a moment. Alburnett was led by Savannah Caves. She put in 9 points for the Pirates. So had Lacey Neighbor playing well. She had a 6-point first half. Had 4 points from Allie Olmstead, a couple of points from Isabel Grabard, 3 from Peyton Scott, and 1 point from Miranda Neighbor, as well as 1 from Ava Armin. For Central City, they were led by Bailey Weber. Outstanding first half. She had 16 points in the opening 16 minutes of play. 1 point per minute for her. Avery Wise hit 3 triples. She has 9 points in the first half. 3 points from Lexi Hennick. 2 points from Belle Whitson. Also 2 points added in by Lucy Smith. And again, our score here at the halfway point of this girls game is Central City 32 and Alburnett 26. Weren't too many fouls called in that first half, as I will now be joined here at the halftime break by Lucas Greif, one of these seniors on this Wildcat boys basketball team. How you doing, Lucas?
Good.
Thanks so much for joining me here at halftime. Do want to kind of go back a ways, as you are a senior now. So back when you were a freshman, I was a senior, and you were on that team that had some success. Did you have a lot of learning experiences back then and sitting on the bench as a freshman?
Oh, yeah, but usually went to Nick, and that's pretty much all it was. So
that's a fair point. And then going up a year, you did have that knee injury as a sophomore, unfortunately, kept you out for your entire sophomore basketball season. Is there anything you learned through that recovery process to help you get stronger into your junior, senior year? I
learned not to always just keep working hard as you keep going. It helps you improve in so many things.
So looking at this season, guys got a record of 12-7, certainly a major step up from years past, and you guys were just so young. Any thoughts on your season so far?
I think that it's great, and I think we can be a much better basketball team we actually are right now. I think we just got to figure it all out and put it all together.
It's coming off a couple of blowout wins last week here against Springville in Central City, and then at Edgewood Colesburg. Fun blowing out a couple of teams, getting dominant wins.
Oh, yeah.
And then coming into tonight's matchup, probably won't be a blowout either way based on what we saw earlier this season, but certainly should be a tough matchup. Kind of looking for some revenge. You guys got any big expectations for tonight?
We think we could play right along with them tonight. We think it should be a good one, and we hope to come home with the W.
Quite possibly your final time playing on the home floor tonight, as it is senior night. Is that weird after 4 years playing your final game potentially here in Central City?
It is very weird. Very weird.
And before I let you go, just want to ask, what are some of the goals you guys have for the rest of this regular season and looking ahead towards the postseason?
Just to put it all together and keep playing hard and go as far as we can.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Wishing you the best of luck, and thanks so much for joining me here, Lucas.
Thank you.
Lucas Greif, kind enough to join me here on the halftime show, as we are at the halfway point of this girls' matchup between Alburnett and Central City. Boys will be up next after the conclusion of the girls' game, but don't go anywhere until we get through with this girls' game for sure. It's been a very fun one, and the Wildcats lead it 32-26. Was going over the foul numbers there, and I will conclude that. Not too many fouls called in that first half. Lacey Neighbor was whistled for a couple, and Peyton Scott has 1 for Alburnett. That was all the damage they had. For Central City, there were 2 fouls on Savannah Cook, 1 on Bailey Weber, Macy Lupkus, and Avery Wise. So 1 player per team has 2 fouls. A couple of other people have 1. Not a whole lot of foul trouble to speak of here at the halfway point. Wildcats are back on the floor first. They're warming up and getting some shots up to my left, as we are about 6 minutes away from playing second half basketball. Do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Heartland Bank. Heartland Bank is here to provide the kind of services to keep community in banking. That means working with local businesses to provide funding to help them grow and giving guidance and support when you're ready to purchase your first home. Heartland Bank, we're here for you. Can't say thank you enough to Heartland Bank, our sole sponsor of these Wildcat Sports broadcasts. Whether you're listening in on the Wildcat Sports YouTube page or watching live on the NFHS Network, can't thank you enough for joining me here this evening. Again, David Warrington here with you for a doubleheader between the girls and boys of Central City and Alburnett. Halfway through this girls' game, it is the Wildcats 32-26. Here's another look at what is going on around the conference on the girls' side of things this evening. Over in Springville, the Orioles are hosting Starmont. Northland is hosting East Buchanan, and Maquoketa Valley is at Edgewood-Colesburg. Taking a look at the rankings, if Northland can avoid an upset on their home floor tonight and take down East Buchanan, they will clinch the Tri-Rivers West Division Championship for the season. They're currently 12-0, a two-game lead on Springville, and they also hold the tiebreaker. Springville's 2 losses, I believe, are both to Northland, if I'm not mistaken there. So a win by the Pirates, or the Lynx, tonight would lock up a Tri-Rivers West Championship for them. Springville should be well on their way to improving to 11-2, as they should be a heavy favorite over Starmont. Edgewood, Colesburg, and Maquoketa Valley could be a good one. Edco is 5-7 in conference play. Mac Valley 6-6. Mac Valley certainly the favorite on paper, but that game is over at Edco. I remember my time playing. Certainly one of the tougher gyms to play in around this conference. So certainly could be anybody's ball game over in Edgewood tonight. Should be a good one to follow around the conference. Wildcats are looking for just their 3rd conference win of the season. They're 2-10. Both of those victories over Starmont, one here and one in Arlington. Pirates are an even 6-6, coming off a dominant victory over Starmont on Tuesday. They're trying to get above 500 at 7-6. Wildcats trying to get another win and move to 3-10 in conference play. It's about 3.5 minutes until we play second half basketball here from Central City, as the Alburnett girls are still in the locker room. Wildcats been getting some shots up for a few minutes at this point. Not a bad crowd here tonight. Of course, just a very short 10-minute drive over from Alburnett here to Central City. Quick couple of miles down Highway 13. Of course, a well-attended game from the Wildcat faithful side of things. Again, this is senior night, so just talked to Lucas Greif a few minutes ago. He will be honored here at halftime, or between the games, I should say, along with the rest of the senior players, other seniors for Central City. Include Braden Rickles, Marcus Shellhorn, and David Munyakazi. On the girls' side of things, they have one senior, that is Lucy Smith. They will all be recognized between games, and I will turn up the microphone I usually talk into, and we'll be sure that you can hear the public address announcing of that senior night coverage right here on the Wildcat Sports YouTube page and the NFHS network. Then 10 minutes before the boys tip off, I will come back live for pregame coverage of that one. That has the potential to be quite the fun ball game. Pirates are one heck of a team, ranked 9th in Class 2A, 14-2, 9-2 in the Tri-Rivers West. Both of those 2 losses have come to Northland. The Wildcats played with them for pretty much an entire half back in December at Alburnett. I talked about Edco being a tough gym to play in. I think Alburnett, from my perspective as a Central City fan, I don't know what it's like to play as a guest here, but out of the 7 gyms other than Central City, I would argue Alburnett might just be the toughest in this conference. Them and Northland might be in the running for that. So we'll see what this one looks like here tonight and how our guys can play. So Central City back over to the bench, as we're a little over a minute away from playing second half action here in Central City. Again, our score, Central City 32 and Alburnett 26. The Wildcats lead it by a half dozen here over the Pirates halfway through this ball game. Bailey Weber had quite the first half, 16 points for Central City's all-time record holder for points scored in a game. Had, I believe it was 46 back at Starmont earlier this month. Broke the school record in the dominant win over the Stars. She has looked up to form here tonight, that's for sure. Quite the first half. She is a big reason why the Wildcats are on top. Certainly not the only reason. Had some big contributors all around. Avery Wise knocked in 3 3-pointers. Macy Lupkes came in and had 3 or 4 emphatic blocked shots that certainly help things out defensively. This young Wildcat team is starting to figure out life at the varsity level, that's for sure. So Pirates are on the floor first. They have Grabard, Armin, Olmstead, Caves, and Scott. Wildcats going with Wise alongside Diedeker, Weber, and the Smiths. Wildcat basketball first. They'll work right to left. Pirates working left to right. 8 minutes on the clock. We are set to go for the second half. Inbounds pass goes to Bailey Weber, and we are underway. Weber crosses into the front court here to begin the second half. Smith has it, top of the key, gives it to Sloan Smith, right wing. Handoff goes to Bailey Weber, trying to drive in. Steps back for a corner three. That's off the mark. Nearly rebounded by Smith, but instead is picked up by Armin, and she has it over across the timeline. Left wing to Grabard, now over to Scott. Driving baseline, gets to the cup, spins around and sends it back out to Grabard. High post, right at the free throw line to Caves. Armin, right wing triple on the way. That's off the mark. Backside rebound picked up by Scott. There was no box out, unfortunately. And Armin has a right wing into the corner. Caves puts up a three-pointer. That is going to rattle out, no good. Rebound is raced down and picked up by Central City's Lexi Diedeker, and we have an injury timeout, as it looks like Allie Olmstead is grabbing the nose, may have taken wild elbow or something, and she'll be helped out and will be replaced by Lacey Neighbor. Our trainer, Beth Griggs, is going to help her out over to the bench. Not sure if she's bleeding from the nose, but she's certainly grabbing it. And seems to be in some pain. Certainly not what you want to see. So wishing her the best, and hopefully she can be back into the ball game shortly. It is Wildcat ball here. 45 seconds gone in the third quarter. Still 32-26. Smith gives to Wise, right wing. Uses the screen. Now goes inside to Sloan Smith. Poked away by Grabard. It's loose and it's going to go. No, it does not go out of play. Somehow saved by Armin. Great hustle to track it down. And she gives it over to Caves in the front court. Right corner to Scott. Fakes the triple. Picks it up. Sends it out top of the key. Armin straight on triple. That is off the mark. Rebound is picked up by Lucy Smith. Weber into the front court. Does not have numbers. Finds Diedeker. Picks it up. Kicks it out to Smith. Left wing. Avery Wise left all alone. And she puts it in. Avery Wise, their fourth three-pointer of the game. Give her 12 points on the night. 35-26 is our score here in Central City. Scott has some trouble there along the baseline, but gets it out of there to Armin. Grabard, right wing to Caves. Caves puts up a right wing triple. Off the mark, too strong, but it's rebounded on the backside by Scott. And she is fouled on the putback attempt. So Scott will go to the line to shoot a pair for Alburnett. Central City's first foul here in the second half. Waiting to see who they got for it. It was Lexi Diedeker. That is her first. Scott, 3 points so far on the night. 60% free throw shooter on the year. As she drains the first, she'll have one more. It is 35-27, 6.5 to go in the third quarter. Second free throw is on the way from Peyton Scott, and she can't get that one to go. It goes 1 of 2, 2 of 4 on the night, and it's rebounded by Sloan Smith. Score stays at 35-27, 6:20 to play in the third. Diedeker has it for Central City. Dribbling around top of the key, picks it up. Bounce pass over to Avery Wise, uses the screen, has it left wing, goes high post to Lucy Smith. Spins around, a little give and go to Bailey Weber, now picks it back up. It's loose and taken away by Peyton Scott. Scott crosses into the front court, now goes over to Armin on the right wing. Armin dribbling left, guarded by Avery Wise. Weber comes for a double team. Top of the key, Grabard to the basketball, goes over to Scott. She'll drive baseline left side, stops, gets it back out. Now left wing, Grabard puts up a triple. That misses everything, too long, out of bounds. And that will go back to Central City. 5:43 to play in the third quarter. It's 35-27. Central City on top of Alburnett. Bailey Weber walking it up. Now crosses into the front court, guarded by Scott. Gives to Smith, right back to Weber. Now left wing, fake triple from Wise. Steps through and puts up a triple. That's off the mark. And it's rebounded by Diedeker. Offensive board picked up, goes inside to Smith. Gets it out to Sloan Smith. Goes backside. Avery Wise finds herself open. That is good. Avery Wise having quite the game. She's got 14 points. Beautiful find by Sloan Smith. 37-27. It's the Wildcats by 10. Caves nearly has it blocked. Her jumper from the left elbow is no good. It's rebounded by Diedeker, and they're going to get a foul on Peyton Scott. Good job by Diedeker to be strong with the basketball, and Scott is called for her second, the team's first, here in the second half. Savannah Cook is into the game for the Wildcats, as is Lexi Hennick. As Bailey Weber will bring it up for Central City. Also back into the game is Miranda Neighbor for Alburnett. Cook driving in, picks up her dribble. In some trouble, dumps it down to Sloan Smith. We're going to have a foul on the Pirates. That'll be Alburnett's second. Believe it was called on Lacey Neighbor. That would be her third. And that is the case. Lacey Neighbor picks up her third foul here in the third quarter. Not quite halfway through it as Smith puts up an elbow jumper and Sloan Smith knocks it in. First basket of the ball game for Sloan Smith, and the Wildcats extend their lead 39-27. Grabard stops, goes up to Neighbor. Now right wing, Ava Arman goes short corner on the right side. Now inside, Lacey Neighbor. She can't get it to go. Misjudged her layup, and it's rebounded by Sloan Smith. Weber into the front court for Central City. Little bounce pass back to Hennick. Now right wing to Weber. Thought about a three, instead goes inside to Smith. Spins, kicks it out to Wise. Right back to Smith. Sloan Smith working on the inside, throws it up off the glass. No good, gets her own rebound. Tries to step through, throws one up, no, and is rebounded by the Pirates, picked up by Neighbor, and they're going to get Sloan Smith for a foul. That'll be Sloan's first, team second. 4:05 to play in the third, 39-27 Central City. As that is good to see, as Allie Olmstead is back into the ball game. A little bit of work done on her nose after taking a elbow or something to the nose that caused her to leave the ball game for a little while. Pirate basketball here. Arman has it right wing. Inside, Lacey Neighbor trying to go to work. Steps through, throws one up. Too strong. Olmstead offensive rebound, and the putback is good. Allie Olmstead apparently no worse for wear, as she is right back to her usual activities of getting putback baskets. She's got 6 points, and it's 39-29 Central City. Bailey Weber gives it to Sloan Smith. A little give and go right back to Weber. She's tripped up, and that will be a foul. Foul is called on Ava Arman. That is her first. Team's third. Belle Whitson and Macy Lupkus back into the game for Central City. As Leah Gilchrist, then for the first time for Alburnett, a 5'8 freshman, playing just her 6th game of the year, averaging just under a point per game. Hennick takes the inbounds pass, puts up a three-pointer. Too strong off back iron, and Gilchrist tracks down the rebound. Caves into the front court, driving in, stops, throws one up. That is no good, but they're going to get a foul on the end of the play. Caves will shoot a couple of free throws. I believe foul went on Lupkus. That would be her second. It's team's third, as Caves will shoot two. Caves is off the mark on the first free throw. She will get one more. Lexi Dedeker back into the game, replacing Lexi Hennick. Wisely, Lupkus and Cook switch places, so the much taller Lupkus can box out the very tall, 6'2" in fact, Olmstead. Caves will shoot one more. Free throw from Caves, no good, too strong, and Belle Whitson gets the long rebound. Whitson into the front court for Central City. Has it left wing. Gives it over to Dedeker, left all alone, short corner jumper. She puts it in. That's her favorite jumper on the floor. Lexi Dedeker's in the scoring column, and it's 41-29. Central City up by a dozen. Gilchrist working inside. They're going to get her for a travel. Leah Gilchrist whistled for the traveling violation, and Central City gets it back. 3 minutes to go in the third. It's 41-29 Wildcats here from Central City. Weber gives it to Dedeker across the timeline. Gives it over to Whitson, top of the key, dribbling left, now hands it off, tries to, in fact, to Cook. Now does get it to Cook, top of the key, driving in, dumps it down, finds Lupkus, throws one up, too strong. It's loose on the rebound and picked up by Caves near the end line. Caves into the front court. Uses a screen, has it left wing. Now reverses course, gets it over to Neighbor. High post, Gilchrist jumper on the way, and she puts it in. Leah Gilchrist with the basket. Only her 6th game of the year, has less than a point per game on the season. And Leah Gilchrist gets her first basket of the game. Now we've got a timeout called by Coach Fear. This will be a full 60-second timeout. 2:25 to play in the third quarter. It is Central City 41 and Alburnett 31. Wildcats have 2 fulls remaining. Alburnett has 3 fulls and a 30. Give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Heartland Bank. At Heartland Bank, the strength of our bank lies in the relationships that give meaning to our work. At all times, we remain focused on what we do best, operating as a dependable community bank and delivering on our personal service commitment. Go Central City Wildcats. So the Wildcats having Quite the game here so far tonight. On top of Alburnett, 41-31 our score. Wildcats just 4 wins on the year, 2 of them in conference play, both over Starmont. Pirates are 10-7, an even 6-6 in conference play. Wildcats trying to secure the upset and take down Alburnett. Wildcats going with Weber, Dedeker, Whitson, Cook, and Lupkus. Alburnett is Gilchrist alongside Miranda Neighbor, Armin, Olmsted, and Caves in the ball game for Alburnett. Wildcat basketball as Weber takes the inbounds pass, 25 on the shot clock. Weber picks it up top of the key, left wing to Dedeker. Dribbling to her right, steps through, sends a pass over to Cook. Short wing jumper on the way, no good. Rebounded by Lupkus, up for grabs, and now it is picked up by Miranda Neighbor. Neighbor into the front court, gives it an Armin in the right corner. Goes high post, jumper on the way from Gilchrist. That one's off the mark, and Dedeker secures the rebound. Dedeker running for Central City. Couple minutes to go in the third quarter. Weber has it top of the key. Weber taking her time, driving in, steps back, now gives it over to Whitson, top of the key. Whitson uses the screen, now right back to Weber. And they're going to get a foul on Miranda Neighbor. Neighbor is called for her first. Will be team foul number 4. We've got both Smiths, Sloan and Lucy, as well as Avery Wise, back into the game for Central City. Cook and Weber will stay for the Wildcats. Inbounds pass goes to Avery Wise. Picks up her dribble. Tries to go inside. Gilchrist tips it and takes it away and gives it over to Caves. Caves down the floor to Armin. Armin stops for a pull-up jumper, and she gets it to go. Ava Armin with her first field goal of the night. Had a free throw earlier on. She's got 3 points, and the Pirates now going into a full-court press. 41-33 our score. Just under 90 seconds to go until the end of the third. Weber has it into the front court. Inside, Sloan Smith loses her balance, falls to her knees, in some major trouble. Gets it out of there to Cook. And the Wildcats get a timeout before a potential travel could have taken place. It looked like she had gotten out of trouble, but before that happened, the timeout had been called. This will be a full. Wildcats down to just 1 timeout remaining. Minute 14 to go in the third quarter. It is Central City 41 and Alburnett 33. So Wildcats with 1 full remaining. Pirates have 3 fulls and a 30. Let's look at some of our scoring numbers. Bailey Weber has 16 points for the Wildcats. Avery Wise has 14. Lexi Hennick has 3 points. Sloan Smith, Lexi Dedeker, Lucy Smith, and Belle Whitson all have 2. For Alburnett, they are led by Savannah Caves with 9. Lacey Neighbor and Allie Olmsted both have 6. Peyton Scott has 4. Ava Armin with 3. Isabel Grabard with 2. And Miranda Neighbor with 1. 2 fouls each on Macy Lupkus and Savannah Cook are the biggest foul trouble for Central City. For Alburnett, they have Lacey Neighbor with 3, while Peyton Scott has 2. Wildcats out of the timeout with the Smith sisters alongside Cook, Weber, and Wise. Pirates now take the floor with Neighbor, Gilchrist, Armin, Olmsted, and Caves. Wildcat basketball, 22 in the shot clock. Weber will throw it in, and everybody else lined up in a box. As the inbounds pass goes to Avery Wise, just right of straight on, Smith spinning around, gives it out to Weber. Now goes high post to Lucy Smith, fakes the give and go, turns around for a jumper, and that is good. Little turnaround shot by Lucy Smith. She puts it in, give her 4 points in the night. Wildcats once again lead it by 10. High post to Gilchrist here. Stops, kicks it out. Armin, left wing, triple on the way. That is no good. That was Caves on the 3-point attempt. It was off the mark. Backside rebound picked up by Cook. Wise gives it back to Cook into the front court. Weber has it left wing. Gives it back to Cook. Cook dumps it down to Weber, trying to get to the cup. Gets inside, and she's fouled as Bailey Weber earns a couple of free throws. Will also turn off the shot clock. So it looks like that one went on Savannah Caves. That is Alburnett's 5th. Would be the first on Caves, as Weber will shoot 2. First one on the way from Weber is off the mark, no good. She will shoot 1 more. It's 43-33 with 32 seconds to go until the end of the third quarter. Second free throw on the way from Weber. She gets 1 of 2, give her 17 points on the night. And it's 44-33. Shot clock is off, but I don't really see why the Pirates would want to hold for 1 here. Trailing by 11. Gilchrist has it in the high post. Kicks it out top of the key. Now left wing to Caves. Inside, Gilchrist. Nice jump fake, No good. Rebounded by Olmsted. Her putback's off the mark. Hits the deck hard. but the Wildcats can hold for one here. Smith gives it over to Weber into the front court. 10 on the clock. Shot clock is off. Smith gives it back to Weber. Driving in, takes a couple of steps, throws it up, no good, rolls off the lip of the rim. And they're going to get a foul on Sloan Smith, trying to get the rebound. That'll be the second foul called on Sloan Smith. Central City's fourth, and the Pirates have 2.5 seconds. Caves will inbound to Miranda Neighbor. Neighbor takes a couple of dribbles, stops, gives it over to Caves. They won't get it off in time. I think they did rule that it was off in time, but was well short regardless. So that'll do it for the third quarter of play here from Central City. It is an 11-point Wildcat advantage. 3/4 of the way through this ball game, it is Central City 44 and Alburnett 33. Here at the quarter break, let's give a shout out to our sponsor, Heartland Bank. Heartland Bank is a proud supporter of Central City Wildcat sports. At Heartland Bank, we recognize more than ever the need to support local customers and organizations in our communities. As your community bank, we're here for you. Just 8 minutes to go in this ball game, and Central City leading Alburnett 44-33. Certainly not an outcome or a score anybody would have predicted on paper, but that's why you play the ball games on the hardwood and not on a sheet of paper or on Varsity Bound or anywhere else. As the Wildcats looking to hold on to this 11-point lead for the final 8 minutes. They will go with the Smiths, Wise, Weber, and Dedeker. Alburnett will have the basketball first, and they have Olmsted, Lacey Neighbor, Grabard, Miranda Neighbor, and Savannah Caves. Armin will begin the fourth quarter on the bench as Caves inbounds to Grabard, who crosses into the front court. Fourth and final quarter is underway as Grabard kicks it out to Neighbor left wing, fakes the triple, driving in, stops in the short corner, steps through, nice dump down pass to Lacey Neighbor, and her layup is good. Neighbor to Neighbor connection that time. Miranda assists Lacey. 8 points for Neighbor, and it's a 9-point ball game. Wise gives it over to Weber. It's going to be a turnover. Weber was out of bounds, so we'll go back to Alburnett. Wildcats need to avoid the turnovers here in the fourth quarter. They've been pretty good tonight. Haven't turned it over too much. Need to stick with those good habits the rest of the way if they want to win this one. Right wing to Caves. Skips it over to Grabard left wing. Driving in. Picked up inside, and she steps out of bounds. Grabard stepped on the end line. They're along the baseline, and it goes back to Central City. 30 seconds gone here in the fourth quarter. 44-35 our score. Full court press is in full effect here from the Pirates. Weber has the basketball in the backcourt. Uses the crossover move, picks it up, gets it over the timeline to Avery Wise. Wise goes to Smith. Now over to Sloan Smith on the right elbow. Smith in some trouble. Gets it out of there to Dedeker, back to Weber. Wildcats certainly going to be content to use the majority of this shot clock the rest of the way. They'll give and go back to Weber. Steps through, lays it up, and puts it in. Bailey Weber with a beautiful layup off a feed from Lucy Smith. Give her 19 points on the night for Weber. It's 46-35. Neighbor has it left wing for Alburnett. That's Miranda. Skips it over to Caves on the right wing. Driving in. Layup off the window. No, a little too short on that one. It's picked up by Olmsted for the offensive board, however. Neighbor has it left wing. Now right wing to Caves. High post Olmsted. Left wing. Triple on the way from Neighbor. She can't get it to go. A little too long. Skimmed off the rim, but it's rebounded on the backside by Caves. Caves has it right wing. Inside. Lacey Neighbor going to work. Olmsted, jumper from the free throw line. Too strong off the back iron. Touched the window as well. Lucy Smith secures the rebound. It looks like they're going to get a foul on Allie Olmsted, diving after the rebound. Foul on Olmsted will be her first. It is team foul number 6. Pirates are one away from being over the limit. Inbounds pass goes to Avery Wise. She crosses into the front court. Has to keep her dribble. Picks it up and gives it over to Dedeker. Now gives it back to Weber. Wildcats managed to break the full court press that time. Weber picks up her dribble, gets it over to Lucy Smith. Behind the three-point line, inside, looking for Weber. It was tipped by Neighbor, but does find Weber in the end. Dedeker driving in, gives it over to Wise. She is blocked on her three-point attempt, blocked by Grabard, and it's rebounded by Savannah Caves. Caves into the front court for Alburnett. Picks it up, gives it over to Grabard right wing. Under 6 minutes to play, 46-35, Central City on top. Neighbor driving in, a little head fake, throws it up, and she's fouled. Miranda Neighbor earns a couple of free throws as Central City is called for their 5th foul. Looks like it was called on Savannah Cook, and that would be her 3rd. So Neighbor will shoot 2. Just 1 point on the night for her. 54% free throw shooter on the year. She gets the first one to go. Give her 2 points. And she will shoot one more. My apologies, the previous foul was on Sloan Smith, as that is her third. Second free throw from Neighbor is no good, but it's rebounded by Olmsted. Fighting through, it's tipped out of bounds by Weber. Will stay with Alburnett. 46-36 our score. Miranda Neighbor goes 1 of 2 at the line. And the Pirates have nearly a full shot clock at 32 seconds. Inbounds pass goes to Neighbor left wing. Gives it inside the paint to Lacey Neighbor. Now over to Grabart. Triple from the corner is going to rattle out. No good. Olmsted with the offensive rebound. Her putback is good. Allie Olmsted with the second chance point. She's got 8 points. 46-38 our score. Cook tries to find Wise. It's nearly turned over. Cook keeps it alive, and they're going to get a travel called. The Wildcats turn it over, and Alburnett gets it back, trailing by 8. 5:20 to play in the ballgame. Inbounds pass goes to Grabard. Inside, Neighbor puts one up. No good. Rebound is loose, picked up by Avery Wise, and she is fouled. So Avery Wise will get to shoot some bonus free throws here, as that is Alburnett's 7th. Avery Wise will shoot a 1-and-1 as Lucy Smith, they're not going to let him shoot the free throws. Should be a 1-and-1 here. And now they finally do get the indication from the scorer's table. We'd gotten the indication a few other places beforehand, but scorer's table is the one that matters. So we will take a trip down to the other end of the floor, and Avery Wise will shoot a 1-and-1. It was team foul number 7 on the Pirates. It was called on Allie Olmsted. That is her second. Wise shooting the 1-and-1. 33% free throw shooter on the season so far. First one is on the way. That is going to be too strong, and it's rebounded by Allie Olmsted. Miranda Neighbor into the front court. Has it top of the key. Driving in, now kicks it out to Armin right wing inside. Neighbor steps through, puts one up, and that is good. Lacey Neighbor now has 10 points on the night. It's a 6-point ball game, 46-40. Bailey Weber trying to break this press, crosses the timeline, gets it over to Sloan Smith, top of the key. Left wing to Dedeker, gives it back to Weber left wing. 24 on the shot clock. Wildcats trying to waste some time here. Wise has it. Now give back to Weber. Has it tipped out of bounds. They're going to say it's off of Bailey Weber, and so it will go to Alburnett. Bailey doesn't like the call. Believes she's trying to say she was fouled, but didn't get the call. And goes back to Alburnett. Pirates trail by just 6. 4.5 to play in the ball game. Miranda Neighbor has it right wing. Top of the key to Grabard. Over to Armin in the left corner. Driving in, stops, skips over to Neighbor. Inside to Lacey Neighbor. Her layup is up, and her layup is good. 12 points for Lacey Neighbor, and it's back to a 4-point game. Pirates have closed the gap quickly. Wildcats really struggling with his full court press. And Bailey Weber that time is fouled. Looks like they're going to get Miranda Neighbor for the foul. That'll be her second. Team's 8th, so Bailey Weber will shoot a 1-and-1. Weber with 19 points so far tonight, and these are big free throws. And it looks like we may have a timeout on the floor. And that is Central City's final timeout. So with 4:17 to go in the ballgame, Wildcats cannot stop the clock again. 46-42 is our score. As again, Wildcats have used all 3 fulls and both 30s. Pirates have just used 1 timeout. They have 3 fulls and a 30 remaining. So after the timeout, Bailey Weber will shoot a 1-and-1, and these are big free throws upcoming. Weber, a 68% free throw shooter on the year, one of the better free throw shooters on the team. Wildcats are, in fact, the best free throw shooting team in the Tri-Rivers West, 62%. Pirates down at 54% on the season. This game very well could come down to free throws if the Pirates keep fouling the Wildcats. They try to break this full court press. So shots from the charity stripe will certainly be important down the stretch of this ball game. Warning horn sounds. Both teams will be back out there momentarily. Wildcats going with the Smiths, Weber, Dedeker, and Wise. Remember, Bailey Weber is shooting a 1-and-1. The final horn sounds. Alburnett jogs back out there. They've got the neighbors, Armin, Grabard, as well as Olmsted. Teams are lined up for a free throw. attempt as Bailey Weber again shooting 1-1 here for Central City. 19 points in the night for Weber. Chance to shoot some big free throws. First one on the way, and she puts it in. 20 points for Bailey Weber, and a chance to shoot one more. 47-42 is now our score. Second free throw on the way from Weber. She goes 1 of 2, misses the second, and it's rebounded by Olmsted. 5-point lead for Central City. 4:10 to go in the game. Grabard has it left wing. Dribbling to her right. Stops top of the key, gives it into the corner to Armin. Driving baseline, puts up a floater. That's off the mark. And rebounded by Lucy Smith. Kicks it ahead. Bailey Weber into the front court. Going towards the basket. Lays it up. Kind of short arm that one. Off the backboard, and it's no good. Miranda Neighbor trying to run. They're going to get Avery Wise for a little bump. Wise going to be called for her second foul. Central City 6. They are not quite over the limit yet. Alburnett basketball here. 47-42 still our score. Under 4 minutes to play. Inbounds pass goes to Neighbor. Right back to Grabard. Nearly loses it, and she does lose it. It's picked up by Avery Wise. An unforced error gives it back to Central City. Now Wise has it taken away by Miranda Neighbor, and she's fouled. Neighbor will shoot 2. Wise called for her third foul, her second in quick succession. That is the team's 7th. Both teams are over the limit. We'll be shooting the rest of the way, these final 3:45. Miranda Neighbor, 2 points on the night. Both have come at the free throw line. First one is on the way, and she puts it in off back of the rim, or front of the rim, back iron and through. Grabard is replaced by Savannah Caves, re-entering the game for Alburnett. Neighbor will shoot one more. 47-43 currently is our score. Second one is on the way. That is good. She makes both. 4 points in the night for Neighbor. It's a 3-point ball game. Weber down the floor over to Avery Wise into the front court. Has it right wing. Picks it up. Goes over to Sloan Smith. Right back to Weber. 3.5 to play in the game. Smith gives to Weber. Driving in. And they're going to get a traveling violation called on Bailey Weber. Took an extra step, and it goes back to Alburnett. Back to a one-possession game here. It's 47-44. Pirates outscoring the Wildcats 11-3 so far this quarter. Armin has it right wing, fakes the pass, goes inside to Lacey Neighbor. She's having quite the fourth quarter for herself. Caves driving baseline, throws up a floater off the mark, too strong, rebounded by Dedeker. Dedeker dribbles right into the double team, and it's going to be out of bounds going back to Alburnett. And the crowd doesn't like it, but personally, I think that was the right call. Caves inbounds to Ava Armin, has a top of the key. Goes over to Caves. Stops, kicks it out to Lacey Neighbor. Inside, Olmsted fakes the jumper, gives it back to Caves. Miranda Neighbor gives it over to Armin. Left wing triple on the way. No good off the back iron. Fight for the rebound is going to result in a jump ball, and that is going over to Central City. So big defensive possession there for the Wildcats. They keep their 3-point lead. Just under 3 minutes to go in the game. Full court press still in full effect here. Weber inbounds to Wise. Nearly taken away. Wise dives after it. There's a race for the basketball. Wise gets it over to Dedeker. They have 4 seconds to get into the front court. Dedeker crosses the timeline. Gets it over to Bailey Weber. Wildcats going to try to slow down here. As Neighbors all over Bailey Weber, and they finally call the foul. Miranda Neighbor is whistled for her third, team's 9th. So not quite in the double bonus, as Bailey Weber will go to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. 47-44 is our score, about 2.5 minutes to go in the ball game. First one on the way from Bailey Weber is good. Bailey Weber puts in a big one. She's got 21 in the night. Chance to make it 22. It's 48-44 after the free throw. Second free throw on the way from Weber. That one is good. Nothing but nylon for Weber on the second. 22 points in the night. It's a 5-point lead, 49-44 for Central City. 2.5 minutes to play. Neighbor goes high post to Lacey Neighbor. Driving in, steps through, throws it up, and she gets it to go down. Lacey Neighbor with 14 points in the night. Weber trying to break this press. Runs into her own teammate as Avery Wise runs into Bailey Weber. Bailey's shaken up. On the inside, Savannah Caves gets a layup to go. It's a 1-point game. Wise in some trouble, gets it over to Bailey Weber, trying to cross into the front court, and does. Gets it over to Lucy Smith. Back to Weber right wing. 2 minutes to go. It's 49-48 Central City. Weber taking her time here. Hands it off to Avery Wise. Over to Dedeker. Gives it back to Weber. 8 on the shot clock. Weber Hands it off to Wise. Dribbling to her right, picks it up. Shot clock running down. They got to chuck something up there. Dedeker just throws something towards the rim, but it's not even a semblance of a shot. It's a shot clock violation, and it will go back to Alburnett. 1:45 to play in the game. Pirates within one at 49-48. Savannah Caves bringing it up for Alburnett. 1:40 to play in the ball game. Caves into the front court, guarded by Weber. Has it top of the key. Weber pokes it, but Caves gets it back. Goes high post. Lacey Neighbor kicks it over to Armin. Armin left corner three is going to be wedged between the rim and the backboard. That'll be a jump ball, and it will stay with Alburnett. Ball perfectly lodged in between the backboard and the rim, and now we've got to stop it with 90 seconds to play, as we got to get a way to get that basketball down off the rim. Armin's shot just perfectly lodged itself in there, as the jump ball arrow will keep it with Alburnett. 1:29 to go, 49-48, Central City on top by a point. Armin to inbound for the Pirates. Looking around, finding somebody, running out of time, gets it over to Lacey Neighbor. Caves finds Armin on the other side. She'll try a right wing three-pointer, and she puts it in. Ava Armin has 6 points on the night, hits a huge three-pointer for the first time in a while. Pirates lead it. It's 51-49 Alburnett. Weber picks it up, gives to Sloan Smith, back to Weber. Weber splits a double team, is sent to the ground, and she's fouled. So Bailey Weber will shoot two. Foul is going to go against Ava Armin, her second, team's 10th. So it will be 2 free throws upcoming for Bailey Weber. Weber 22 points in the night so far, as she will shoot two. First one is on the way, and that is perfect. 23 for Weber. It's a 1-point game, 51-50. Alburnett by a point, 1:05 to play. Weber getting set for her second free throw on the way. That is good, and we are tied. It's 24 for Weber, 51 all. A minute to go in the ball game. Armin has it left wing. Dribbling up, goes inside, high post to Neighbor. Back to Armin, puts up a corner three, and she drains it. Huge triple drain by Ava Armin. She's got 9. It's 54-51 Alburnett, nearly turned over. Weber picks it up. Weber gets it over to Dedeker into the front court. 40 seconds to play. Dedeker gets it over to Bailey Weber. Weber uses the screen, stops, thought about a three, gets it over to Dedeker. Dedeker dribbling left. Tries to find Weber and does. 15 on the shot clock. Weber steps back, doesn't take the three. Back to Dedeker, 10 on the shot clock. Dedeker hands it off to Weber. 6 on the shot clock. Smith has it high post. Back to Weber. She's got to put something up there. Weber spinning in. 15 seconds to play. Shot on the way is no good. Rebounded by Armin. Now they got a foul. As Armin brings it up, they have to foul, and Bailey Weber does. As Bailey's going to be called for her second. And with 9 seconds to play, will be a couple of 1-and-1, for Alburnett. As Ava Armin will go to the line to shoot the 1-and-1. She's been the hot hand here in the fourth quarter. I said a couple of clutch three-pointers. And now, fortunately for the Wildcats, we've got a timeout called by Alburnett. Pirates use their second and final 30-second timeout. They've still got all 3 fulls. 9 seconds to go in the game. It's 54-51 Alburnett. And Ava Armin will shoot a 1-and-1. Unfortunately, Wildcats just could not find a good shot on that previous possession. Worked it around, but the Pirates were everywhere defensively. And they could not get anything. Ended up with a really tough jumper from Bailey Weber that was off the mark and rebounded by the Pirates. So both teams back on the floor. Ava Armin will be shooting a 1-and-1. And remember, the Wildcats have used all of their timeouts. They cannot stop the clock. So off a miss, they would have to just hustle down the floor as quick as they can and just try to get something up. 54-51 Alburnett. Ava Armin to shoot a 1-and-1 for the Pirates. Armin has 9 points on the night, 6 of which have come with huge triples in the last minute. First one from Armin is on the way. It is no good, but it's rebounded by the Pirates. Now stolen away by Avery Wise. Wildcats have 5 seconds. Wise steps back, puts up a three. It's off the mark. It's going to go out of bounds off of Alburnett, and there should be a half second left. They're going to call the game over. That's unbelievable. The basketball went out of bounds with half a second left in the clock, and it ran down, and they're going to call that as a final. There was at least 0.5 seconds on the clock when that ball went out of bounds, but that will do it. They're not going to play out the final 10th. So it's going to be Alburnett 54 and Central City 51 as our final score. An outstanding effort by Central City. They come up just short. Avery Wise with a chance to win it at the horn, but it was off the mark. And Alburnett escapes Central City with a 3-point victory. So tough one to lose there for Central City, but certainly shouldn't be upset with themselves. Played a really nice ball game against a quality Alburnett team. They are going to come up 3 points short here tonight. I believe we're going to be having our senior night ceremony here in a moment. But again, our final in the girls game, Alburnett 54, Central City 51. Some final numbers for the Wildcats. Bailey Weber led the way with 24 points. Avery Wise pitched in 14. 4 from Lucy Smith, 3 from Lexi Hennick. Belle Whitson, Lexi Dedeker, and Sloan Smith all with 2. The Wildcats fall to 4-17 on the year, 2-11 in the conference. Pirates improve to 11-7. They are 7-6 in conference play. So again, I do believe we'll be having our senior night presentation momentarily. I will be stepping aside and believe it should pick up on my microphone the audio from this presentation honoring our seniors. I believe it is 4 from the boys and just Lucy Smith, the one senior on the girls team. I have Lucas Greif, who joined me during the halftime break. Braden Rickles, Marcus Shellhorn, and David Munyakazi, the boys seniors. So the boys game will be up next. 15 minutes are set on the clock, but that 15 minutes will not begin until the senior night presentation has concluded. I believe they're just looking for Lucy Smith now, as we will wait to begin the girls or the boys game until the senior night festivities have concluded. But stick around, folks. We've got a big-time matchup coming up. Final numbers for Alburnett. Lacey Neighbor led the way with 14 points. Savannah Caves with 11. Allie Olmstead had 8, 9 from Ava Arman, including 2 huge three-pointers in the last minute or minute and a half maybe. 4 each from Miranda Neighbor and Peyton Scott. 2 from Leah Gilchrist and Isabel Grabard. So at this time, we'll turn it over to Mrs. Hackman on the public address microphone to honor our seniors. So another big congratulations to all 5 of our seniors. Again, Lucy Smith, Lucas Greif, Braden Rickles, David Munyakazi, and Marcus Shellhorn, the seniors this year. Congratulations and thank you to all 5 of them for their hard work over the past 4 years, and wish them nothing but the best in all of their future endeavors. So at this time, we will pause for about 5 minutes, and then I will have pregame coverage for this upcoming boys basketball matchup. So wherever you are, stay tuned on whether it be the Wildcat Sports YouTube page or the NFHS Network. In 5 minutes here on the same link, I will have pregame coverage for the boys game between Alburnett and Central City. Stay tuned. You're listening to Wildcat Basketball on the Wildcat Sports YouTube page and the NFHS Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Wildcat Basketball here on the Wildcat Sports YouTube page. David Warrington here with you tonight for a boys and girls doubleheader between Alburnett and Central City here in Central City. It was a barn burner in the girls' game as Alburnett just managed to sneak out of here with the victory over Central City. 54-51 was the final there. Avery Wise had a chance to win it at the horn, but was just off the mark on her three-pointer. And the Wildcats dropped that one by 3 points. Now we move ahead to the boys' game, a little under 9.5 minutes away from meeting the starters for this one. And this should be a good one, folks, as let's preview both teams. First up for Central City. Wildcats are 12-7, 8-3, third place in the Tri-Rivers West. They hosted North Lynn on Tuesday and fell to the Lynx by a final of 81-33. Players to watch for Central City starts with Makai Benton. The junior averages 16 points per night, fifth in the conference. Also the leading rebounder on the team at 6.5 per game, 1.5 assists, half a steal, and half a block. Also have the Closterman boys to watch out for. Matthew is the sophomore point guard, 14 points per game, nearly 6 rebounds, 4.5 assists, third most in the conference, and a couple of steals. Also have Aiden Closterman, a 5'10 junior, nearly 11 points per game, 3 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 1 steal. Is also the team's best three-point shooter and the conference's third best free throw shooter at 88%. And now taking a look, before we do that, I have to give a shout out to the Wildcat coaches. Assistant coach for the Wildcats is John McGovern. Central City's head coach in his first season is Ryan Turner. During his time with the Wildcats, Coach Turner with a record of 12 wins and 7 losses. And now tonight's opponent, the Alburnett Pirates. Alburnett is ranked 9th in Class 2A from the Iowa High School Athletic Association. Pirates are 14-2, 9-2, second place in the Tri-Rivers West. Both of those losses coming to North Lynn. Assistant coaches for the Pirates are Ryan Gable, Brian Huber, and Alec Phillip. Alburnett's head coach in his 30th season is Jeff Christofferson. During his time with the Pirates, Coach Christofferson with a record of 341 wins and 293 losses. Players to watch for Alburnett starts with the junior Braden Osborne, averaging 17 points per game, third best in the conference. Also 7.5 rebounds, that's also third best in the Tri-Rivers West. 1 assist, a steal, and 2.3 blocks per game. That is the most in the Tri-Rivers Conference. Or my apologies, 2.1 steals for Braden. Blocks is for our next player to watch. That is Titan Bowers. 11.5 points per game for him. As I mentioned, nearly 2.5 blocks, best in the conference. He also shoots at 72% from the floor, fifth best in the entire state of Iowa. 5.5 rebounds, 1 assist. That is the 6'8 senior, Titan Bowers. Final player to watch is Jordan Caton. Caton, a 5'9 junior guard, 14 points for him per night. A 42% three-point shooter, second best in the Tri-Rivers West. Also a 93% free throw shooter, nearly 94%. That is fourth best in the entire state of Iowa. Don't want to foul him too much. 2.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 3 steals, which is best in the conference. A comment here from Mark Knoll, doing a great job tonight, David. Keep it up. Go Pirates. Thanks so much, Mark. Appreciate you listening in. Mark is the voice of Alburnett basketball on the Pirate Cast. Also a heads up, just got word that the Tri-Rivers Conference Wrestling Tournament for tomorrow at Midland in Wyoming has been canceled due to the incoming weather. Thanks very much for that update, Mark. Any of you Tri-Rivers wrestling fans, certainly some information to keep your eye on there, as that has been canceled, the conference tournament at Midland, due to the incoming snow expected to start either overnight or early tomorrow morning. So Wildcats going back into the locker room, a little under 6 minutes till we tip this one off. And we will take a look at some of the other action going on around the conference this week. We will start on Monday with a couple of non-conference games. Maquoketa Valley hosted Clayton Ridge and got the victory 47-36. Midland went to HLV, 69-37 was the final there. And that was it for non-conference play on Monday. On Tuesday on the west side, these are boys games, by the way. North Lynn came here to Central City and won 81-33. East Buchanan hosted Edgewood Colesburg and got the victory 56-39. Maquoketa Valley took down Springville in Delhi 72-32. And Alburnett was dominant in their win over Starmont, 92-12, the victory for Alburnett. Quite the margin of victory there for the Pirates. On the east side, Midland went to Marquette Catholic. Did not get a report from that one. Calamus Wheatland took down Lisbon 74-65. And Easton Valley took down North Cedar on the Riverhawks home floor 57-39. In non-conference action, Prince of Peace hosted Cedar Valley Christian, who is out of the conference for at least a couple of years, remember. Prince of Peace got the win 80-36. Last night in non-conference play, Marquette Catholic went to Davenport Assumption, played up and kept it close. Assumption won 56-43. And over in Lisbon, Durant took on the Lions, and Durant got the win 68-50. Tonight's matchups around the conference. Alburnett is here in Central City. We've got Starmont at Springville, East Buchanan at Northland, and Maquoketa Valley at Edgewood Colesburg. Over on the east side, Easton Valley is at Lisbon, North Cedar is at Midland, and Calamus-Wheatland is at Prince of Peace. At halftime, we'll check the conference standings, but right now we got some time running down. Let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's projected starting lineups. First for Alburnett. They've gone with just one starting lineup all season. I don't see anybody missing that I saw last time, so I'm assuming this will be the same this go-round for Alburnett. First of all, at a guard is Jordan Caton, 5'9 junior, averaging 14 points per night, 2.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and a conference-leading 3 steals. Also mentioned he's the second-best three-point shooter in the conference, 42%, and the fourth-best free throw shooter in the state of Iowa at 93%. At center, in the middle, is the 6'8 senior Titan Bowers, 11.5 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 1 assist, a steal, and a conference-leading 2.3 blocks per night. Next up is Braden Osborne. Osborne, a 6'3 junior, 17 points per night, 7.5 rebounds, both of which lead the team and are third best in the conference. 2.5 assists and 2 steals. It's basically a home game for Osborne, who actually lives in the same development I do, just about 60 seconds down Highway 13 here in Central City. Also in the starting 5, got a couple of neighbors. Got Adam Neighbor, a 5'8 senior, 4.5 points per game for him, 3 rebounds, team best, 4 assists, and 2.5 steals. And rounding out the starting 5 is Mason Neighbor, the 6'1 senior, averaging 7.5 points per game, 3 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 2 steals. And now the projected starting 5 for Central City. It is senior night, so do have Lucas Greif and Braden Rickles, the 2 seniors that are eligible to suit up, will be doing so and stepping into the starting lineup here this evening. So here are the starting 5 for Central City. First of all, at point guard is Matthew Klosterman, 5'10 sophomore, averaging 14 points per game, 6 rebounds, 4.5 assists, and 2 steals. Also in the starting 5 is the senior Lucas Greif, was recognized for senior night a little while ago. Also joined me at halftime of the girls' game. Greif, a 5'8 senior, starting his 3rd game of the year, 1.5 points per game, 1.5 rebounds, little over half an assist, and half a steal. At a shooting guard position is Aiden Klosterman, the 5'10 junior, averaging nearly 11 points per ball game. 3rd best free throw shooter in the conference at nearly 89%, 3 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and a steal. At forward is Makai Benton, the 6'3 junior, averaging 16 points per night, 5th best in the conference. Leading rebounder on the team at 6.5 per ball game, 1.5 assists, half a steal, and half a block. And rounding out the starting 5 for Central City, at a forward is Braden Rickles, averaging 5 points per night, 3 rebounds, nearly 1 assist, and nearly 1 steal. That rounds out the starting 5 for Central City. So 90 seconds until we meet the starting lineups for this ball game. Again, Pirates are ranked 9th in Class 2A. They are 14-2, 9-2 in the Tri-Rivers West. Their 2 losses have both come to North Lynn, 1 in Troy Mills and 1 in Alburnett. Central City is 12-7, 8-3 in conference play. Wildcats currently sitting at 3rd in the conference, a game ahead of Maquoketa Valley and a game behind Alburnett. North Lynn is a perfect 11-0, a 2-game lead with just a few more games to go. 3 games to go. So North Lynn, unlike the girls, have not clinched anything and can't do so tonight. But barring a massive upset with their 2 wins over Alburnett, they should be well on their way to a Tri-Rivers West championship. So both teams have their starters sitting down on the bench, and we will be meeting the starters here momentarily. Mrs. Hackman again has the microphone, and I will follow along as she introduces our starting lineups for this varsity boys contest. For the Pirates, a 5'9 junior, number 3, Jordan Caton. For the Wildcats, a 5'10 sophomore, number 1, Matthew Klosterman. For the Pirates, a 6'8 senior, number 4, Titan Bowers. For the Wildcats, a 5'8 senior, number 2, Lucas Greif. Quite the height discrepancy in this handshake line. For the Pirates, a 6'3 junior, number 5, Braden Osborne. For the Wildcats, a 5'10 junior, number 10, Aiden Klosterman. For the Pirates, a 5'8 senior, number 11, Adam Neighbor. For the Wildcats, a 6'3 junior, number 23, Makai Benton. And for the Pirates, a 6'1 senior, number 20, Mason Neighbor. And for the Wildcats, a 6'1 senior, number 30, Braden Rickles. Assistant coaches for the Pirates are Ryan Gable, Brian Huber, and Alec Phillip. Alburnett's 30th year head coach is Jeff Christofferson. Assistant coach for the Wildcats is John McGovern. Central City's first year head coach is Ryan Turner. Again, our starters, Caton, Bowers, Osborne, Neighbor, and Neighbor for the Pirates. Klosterman, Greif, Klosterman, Benton, and Rickles for Central City. We're just about set to go. Pirates wearing their traveling purples, Alburnett across the chest in gold, gold numerals and gold trim down the side. Central City wearing their home whites, Wildcats across the chest in black, black numerals with red and black trim down the sides. Makai Benton will jump center, opposite Titan Bowers. 8 minutes are on the clock as Central City will work left to right, and Alburnett will work right to left. And we are set to go. Ball's in the air, opening tap controlled by the Pirates, picked up by Neighbor. And we're underway as Jordan Caton gets it over to Osborne on the right wing. Top of the key, it goes to Adam Neighbor. Inside to Mason Neighbor at the high post. Left elbow, gives it over to Osborne, dribbling left, stops at the elbow, puts up a pull-up jumper off the mark, and Makai Benton secures the rebound. Matthew Klosterman crosses the timeline for Central City, guarded by Adam Neighbor, has it right wing, picks up his dribble, over to Benton on the right wing. Benton goes back to Matthew, now over to Lucas Greif. Greif gives it over to Matthew Klosterman, top of the key. Rickles has it right wing, looking around, down to 15 on the shot clock. Aiden Klosterman left wing, high post, left elbow to Benton. Looking around, in some trouble, stops, pull-up jumper on the way. That is going to be too strong off the back iron, and Titan Bowers with a strong box out. Pulls in the rebound, down the floor, ahead to Neighbor. He lays it up and gets it to go. Mason Neighbor opens the scoring here tonight with a transition layup, and it's 2-0 Alburnett, a minute gone in the opening quarter. Matthew Klosterman into the front court. Some tough defense here from Adam Neighbor as Greif has it right wing. Now tries to get it to Benton, but it's taken away by Jordan Caton. He's the conference leader in steals, sends it ahead to Osborne. His shot is no good. They are going to call a foul, and Braden Osborne will go to the line to shoot a pair for Alburnett. Foul goes on Matthew Klosterman, his first and team first on the season. Osborne, a 67% free throw shooter, making right about 2/3 of his free throws this year. First one on the way from Osborne. That is too strong, no good off back iron. He'll get one more. 2-0 Alburnett. About a minute 15 gone in this opening quarter of play. Osborne set to attempt his second free throw. That one on the way. That is also no good. Long rebound tracked down by Braden Rickles, and he finds Matthew Klosterman. As Osborne goes 0 for 2, and it's still 2-0. 6:40 to go in the opening quarter. Matthew Klosterman gets past Adam Neighbor for the moment, goes top of the key to Benton. Benton goes inside to Rickles, but is taken away by Jordan Caton. Burst of speed down the floor from Caton. Gets it over to Neighbor on the right wing. That is Adam Neighbor. Now gets it back to Caton. Inside to Bowers. Working over on Benton. Spins. Kicks it out. Mason Neighbor. Open three from the left corner. That's off the mark. Rebound is loose. Picked up by Caton. High post to Bowers. Gets it down inside to Neighbor. His layup is no good. Spins out. Tries to save it, but Aiden Klosterman pulls in the rebound. 2 minutes gone. It's 2-0 Alburnett. Matthew Klosterman has it left wing. Uses the screen from his brother. Now has it right wing. Stops. Pulls up for a triple. He puts it in. Matthew Klosterman finds the bottom of the net. And the Wildcats lead 3-2. Caton goes inside to Mason Neighbor. Working on Rickles. Skips it over to Osborne right wing. Dumps it down inside. Bowers gets past Benton. Puts it up and puts it in. Titan Bowers uses his size and good footwork to get the basket to go. It's 4-3 Alburnett. Matthew Klosterman into the front court. Goes right wing to Greif. Top of the key to Aiden Klosterman. Now left wing, Matthew Klosterman looking around. Gives a head fake, drives in, stops. Rickles top of the key. He drives inside, loses it, but it's going to be picked up by Matthew Klosterman in the right corner. 15 on the shot clock as Matthew dribbles to his left. Steps through, out to Aiden Klosterman. Fakes the straight on triple. Pulls up for a free throw line jumper. No good. Rebounded by Braden Osborne. Osborne into the front court. Gives it over to Adam Neighbor, right wing. Inside to Bowers. Bowers turns, gets through, but loses the basketball. Was not touched, and it will go back to Central City. Just about 3 minutes gone here in the opening quarter. It is 4-3. Alburnett, neither team really shooting and scoring as they often do, but I don't know how much of that is poor play or just really good defense from both of these teams. Aiden Klosterman has it poked away by Mason Neighbor. Taken by Bowers, now down the floor to Caton. Mason Neighbor, right wing, over to Caton. Left all alone for a three-pointer. Can't leave him all alone, that's for sure. Jordan Caton drains the triple. Second best three-point shooter in the Tri-Rivers as he drains that one. It's looks like the score was given to the wrong team. I'll get you an updated score in a moment. Rickles driving in. His layup is good. Really nice driving finish by Braden Rickles, his first basket. On the other end, Mason Neighbor left all alone. He's off the mark on the three, and it's rebounded by Matthew Klosterman. Up ahead to Aiden Klosterman. Pull-up transition three on the way. Left it short, misses everything but the net, but he gets his own rebound. Aiden trying to find somebody, finds his brother Matthew in the left corner. Matthew pulls up for a jumper. He puts it in. Matthew Klosterman with his second bucket of the ball game. He's got 5 points. And I know the scoreboard is not right. I'll get you an updated score as soon as I can. Osborne has the top of the key, goes left wing to Adam Neighbor. Driving in, kicks it over to Bowers. On the left elbow, guarded by Benton. Mason Neighbor, long two on the way. That's too strong, and rebounded by Matthew Klosterman. Matthew into the front court, has it right wing, driving in, and they're going to get Matthew for an offensive foul as Adam Neighbor takes a charge. That's big, because that is Matthew's second. Offensive foul called on Matthew Klosterman is his second, and he is going to leave the game, replaced by Jaden Hansen. For Alburnett, we've got Grayson Carroll into the game, 6'2 senior, averaging 5.5 points per game off the bench this year. Caton into the front court for the Pirates. Goes to Mason Neighbor. Spins. Now gives to Peyton Baker, who also entered the game. Baker dumps it down, and the layup is good on the other end. That one's put in by Carolyn. Greif into the front court for Central City. Loses the basketball for a moment. In some trouble. Caton forcing a jump ball. He will get the jump ball, and it stays with the Wildcats. Believe the score is now correct. It is Alburnett 9 and Central City 5. Well, no, I've got Central City down for 7, so the scoreboard is still not correct. It might be 9-7. Nonetheless, I don't think the scoreboard is right at the moment. Rickles has it right wing. Driving in, is poked loose by Rickles, taken away by Baker. Baker guarded by Benton, crosses into the front court, goes inside to Carolyn, but is taken away by Makai Benton. Benton running into the front court, has it at the top of the key. Loses his dribble, picks it back up. Gets it over to Greif, right wing, guarded by Osborne, uses the screen, goes over to Hansen, now left wing to Rickles. Aiden Klosterman puts up a left corner three, he puts it in. Aiden Klosterman knocks down his first basket. He's got 3 points. I believe it should be 10-9, but the scoreboard reads 9-8 Alburnett. Jordan Caton can't get the three-pointer to go, and Lucas Greif rebounds. And now they've got 10-9 on the scoreboard, so I think our scoreboard is finally right here. Greif in some trouble in the backcourt, but crosses the timeline. Has it top of the key. Gets it over to Benton. And we're going to get a timeout called by Coach Turner. Not happy about something. Wants a 30-second timeout. That is the first timeout of the ball game. 2:22 to go in the opening quarter. It is 10-9. I'll make sure that is right. We've got Matthew with 5, Aiden with 3, and Braden with 2. That's correct. For Alburnett, Caton has 3, then 5 and 7. Well, I'll just take their word for it. Might have missed something here. Nonetheless, I think the score is finally right. 10-9, I believe, is our score. 2:22 to go in the opening quarter. And Mark, thanks for the message in regards to the NFHS. It's been giving us problems all year. We're certainly working on it, but we want to apologize for anybody trying to watch in the NFHS. Sounds like the cameras are down. Unfortunately, have had some problems with that service this year, but hopefully we can get that working at some point. Wildcat basketball out of the timeout as the inbounds pass goes to Lucas Greif in the backcourt, crosses the timeline into the front court. Greif goes over to Aiden, closer in right wing. Tries to go inside to Rickles, but is taken away by Adam Neighbor. Quite the pesky defensive player is Neighbor. He gets it ahead to Caton. Adam Neighbor into the front court for Alburnett, guarded by Aiden Klosterman. Neighbor dribbling right, gets it over to Osborne left wing. Top of the key to Bowers. beyond the three-point line. Bowers picks up his dribble over to Osborne, top of the key. 12 on the shot clock. Adam Neighbor driving in. Goes in, beautiful pass, but almost mishandled by Baker. 5 on the shot clock, inside to Bowers. He steps through, puts it up, is blocked by Benson. Rebound by Neighbor, 1 on the shot clock. Baker puts it up, and he beats the buzzer with a three-pointer. Peyton Baker beats the shot clock buzzer and drains a straight-on three. And the Pirates go on top 12-10, 90 seconds to play in the opening quarter. Aiden Klosterman gets it over to Lucas Greif into the front court. Left corner to Rickles. He'll put up a triple. That's off the mark, and Baker gets the rebound. Baker into the front court. Gets it over to Adam Neighbor, right corner. Driving inside, dumps it down to Bowers. Trying to find somewhere to go with it. Driving in. Poked away by Aiden Klosterman. Jaden Hansen with the steal. He has it into the front court. Gets it over to Rickles. He's got an open look at the hoop. Lays it up, and it's swatted away by Baker. An emphatic block. And taken by the Pirates. Osborne into the front court. Goes inside, lays it up. High degree of difficulty in the shot. Couldn't get it, but gets his own miss. And Braden Osborne's in the scorer's column with the putback layup. 14-10, Alburnett. 45 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Lucas Greif ahead to Benton into the front court. He's double-teamed in there. Over to Greif, top of the key. Skips it over to Aiden Klosterman, taken away by Osborne. Breakaway layup. That is good for Braden Osborne. Another basket for the junior. He's got 4. And the Pirates lead it by half a dozen, 16-10, 30 seconds to go until the end of the first, and the shot clock is off. Rickles gets it ahead to Aiden Klosterman into the front court. Guarded by Adam Neighbor. Uses the screen from Benton, picks it up, now goes into Benton, just inside the three-point line around the right elbow. 15 seconds now. Benton has it poked loose, but picked up by Rickles. Again, Adam Neighbor getting his hands all over the basketball, but it's picked up by Central City, and Makai Benton gets a tough jumper to go on the inside. First basket for Benton. 3 seconds, up ahead, in and out of the hands, no good. And a nearly crazy play there as Grayson Carroll tried to just flip one back in, but that will do it for the opening quarter of play, and what a fun quarter of play it was. After one, it is the Pirates by 4, Alburnett 16, and Central City 12. Here's some of the first half numbers. First for the Pirates. They were led in scoring by Braden Osborne with 4. Jordan Caton had 3. Titan Bowers, Mason Neighbor both added 2. And for Central City, it was Matthew Klosterman with 5 points before he picked up a quick 2 fouls. Aiden Klosterman had 3. Braden Rickles and Makai Benton both had 2. Matthew's 2 fouls were the only fouls of the opening quarter. So other than Matthew Klosterman with 2, there is no foul trouble to speak of. Alburnett back on the floor first. They have the starting 5 of the neighbors, Caton, Bowers, and Osborne. Wildcats going with Greif, Castor Abernathy into the game for the first time, alongside Hansen, Rickles, and Benton. Both Klostermans are on the bench to begin the second quarter. Abernathy, a 6'1 junior, 1.5 points, half a rebound, and an assist per night. Pirate basketball to begin the second quarter as Adam Neighbor crosses the timeline, guarded by Abernathy. Hands it off to Caton, left wing, dribbling to his right. Dumps it inside to Bowers, kicks it out. Osborne thought about a 3 from the right corner, now drives in. Over to Mason Neighbor, fakes the triple, and he's bumped by Braden Rickles as Braden got into the air trying to close out on the 3, but instead he drove in, and Braden is going to be called for his first, team's third. Pirates have yet to pick up a foul. This officiating crew seemed to let things play for the most part in the girls' game, and that's been the same so far in this boys' game. Pirate basketball. Mason Neighbor has it in the paint, puts up a floater. That's going to be no good. Benton almost takes it right off the rim. Really got up high for that rebound, and he will cross the timeline himself. 16-12 Alburnett, 30 seconds gone here in the second quarter. Rickles has the top of the key, gives it over to Greif right wing. Greif dribbling towards top of the key, has it near the CC logo at midcourt. Nearly loses the basketball, guarded heavily by Osborne. Gets it over to Hansen. Right elbow. Benton puts up a jumper. That's off the mark. Nearly got it to go, but it's going to be out of bounds. Was not touched after Benton released the shot, and it will be Alburnett basketball. Alburnett ball here out of the missed shot going out of bounds. Adam Neighbor into the front court for the Pirates, guarded by Abernathy. Goes left wing to Osborne, top of the key to Bowers. Right wing to Caton now. Minute gone here in the second quarter. Osborne on the inside, spins. Fall away jumper on the way. Couldn't get it to go. Rebound is tipped up. A fight for it. Caton comes out of there with it. Finds Bowers. Gets it out to Osborne. Caton open in the right corner, and he puts it in. Jordan Caton knocks down his second triple of the game. He's got 6 points. and it's 19-12 Alburnett. Lucas Greif trying to break this press, crosses the timeline. Now he's in some trouble. Double teamed, thrown into the backcourt. It's loose. Abernathy diving after it. It's picked up by Abernathy. Now taken away by Adam Neighbor. Osborne all alone, and he lays it up. Nobody else down there for Central City that time as Osborne gets the layup. He's got 6 points, and we've got an officials timeout as Aiden Klosterman is back into the game for Central City. And it looks like they're making Jordan Caton leave the game. Coach Christofferson's getting an explanation. Caton is replaced by Peyton Baker. 6:25 to go in the second quarter, 21-12 Alburnett. Pirates have scored the first 5 here in the second quarter. Now the officials are having a conversation, clearing something up. And now we should be good to go. Central City basketball as Aiden Klosterman replaced Lucas Greif. He's out there with Rickles, Hansen, Benton, and Abernathy. Pirates in something of a 1-3-1 full court press here. Adam Neighbor pressuring the basketball. Hansen has it in the front court, driving in, dumps it down to Rickles. In some trouble there in the baseline, gets Aiden Klosterman the ball over to Benton. Straight on, triple on the way from Benton's off the mark, and it's rebounded by Baker. Baker crosses the timeline for the Pirates. Gives it into the corner to Adam Neighbor. His triple on the way. That's off the mark, and Abernathy with a good box out, pulls in the rebound and finds Aiden Klosterman. Aiden into the front court. Nearly has it taken away. Now it will be taken away by Peyton Baker, and they're going to get Aiden for the foul. Aiden Klosterman called for his first, team's fourth, and Matthew Klosterman will re-enter the game for Central City. He will replace Braden Rickles against this press. They're getting another ball handler into the game. Try to help break the pressure. Pirate basketball, Adam Neighbor into the front court, goes left wing to Osborne. 5:45 to go in the second quarter, 21-12 Alburnett. Adam Neighbor has it left wing. Stops, gives it over to Osborne. Takes a three-pointer, that's off the mark, and Benton secures the rebound. Wildcats have yet to score this quarter, and they do need a bucket here as Klosterman, that's Matthew, the point guard, crosses into the front court. Over to Hansen, just left of straight on. Gets it over to Aiden Klosterman, left wing. Trying to find somewhere to go with it. Gets it back to Hansen, inside to Benton. Tries to get it in there. He nearly loses it. Does get the ball back, but his layup is no good. Rebounded by the Pirates. Osborne over to Mason Neighbor. Driving in. Nice move. It's blocked by Benton emphatically as it will go out of bounds, but Benton got up and blocked that one big time. See if Central City can use that as a momentum shifter here as Osborne and Bowers go to the bench. As Dayton Price will get some early run here for Central City. Price, a 6-foot junior, playing in his 14th game of the year without a start. 3 points and 3.5 rebounds per night. For the Pirates, Carolyn and Caton back into the game as Caton has it over to Adam Neighbors at the top of the key. Mason Neighbor driving in. Gets past Abernathy. His layup is good. Mason Neighbor having himself a nice game here. Only got 4 points, but he's been all over the place and having himself a nice game. Both Neighbors have, in fact. It's 23-12 Alburnett. Klosterman has the top of the key. That is Matthew, guarded by Adam Neighbor. Uses the screen from Abernathy. Baker switches onto him. Gets it over to Benton. Stops, pull-up jumper from the right elbow, and that is good. Makai Benton gets the basket to go, and that was one the Wildcats needed. Hadn't scored all quarter. Now they are down 23-14 here. 4.5 to go until the break. Caton has it right wing. Goes over to Carolyn on the right elbow. Hands it off to Baker. He'll take an open three from straight on. Too strong off the back iron. Rebound is fought for and picked up by Makai Benton. Good job of Matthew Klosterman to keep it alive so Benton could pick it up. Klosterman has it right wing. Has the top of the key now, still guarded by Adam Neighbor. They're setting up a play, are the Wildcats. Matthew steps back for a triple, no good. Off the window and rebounded by Adam Neighbor. Neighbor gives it over to Baker. Baker trying to get inside. Steps through, gets it over to Adam Neighbor. Driving in, stops in the paint, dumps it down. Carolyn gets towards the basket, I should say, and Grayson Carolyn gets his first basket of the night. It's 25-14 Alburnett. Matthew Klosterman into the front court. Gives it over to Makai Benton, guarded by Carolyn. 3:40 to play in the second quarter, 25-14 Pirates. Aiden Klosterman has the left wing. Uses the screen, picks it up, skips it over to Matthew Klosterman, right wing. Uses the screen the other way, picks it up, over to Abernathy, left wing. Abernathy driving in, gets it over to Matthew Klosterman, right wing. Gives the head fake, almost runs into his own teammate. Down to 5 on the shot clock here. Benton trying to work through a double team. They're going to get a jump ball. Possession arrow favoring Central City. As Osborne and Bowers are back into the game for the Pirates, they will replace both neighbors, Adam and Mason, get a rest. Central City basketball, but just 2 on the shot clock. It does not appear they're going to reset it, so they got to get something off quick. Matthew Klosterman will inbound. Matthew looking around, gets it into Price. He's got to put it up right away. He doesn't, and Coach Turner is not happy as Dayton Price causes the shot clock violation there. Just needed to go up as Castor Abernathy is replaced by Jaden Hansen. 25-14 Alburnett, 3:10 to go in the second quarter. As Caton crosses the timeline for Alburnett. Over to Osborne, right wing. Now top of the key to Carolyn. Left wing to Baker. Guarded by Hansen. Now over to Caton. He'll take a three-pointer. That is going to be just off the mark, and Jaden Hansen skies up for the rebound. Matthew Klosterman into the front court for Central City. Guarded by Caton. Over to Aiden. Klosterman was tipped, but he picks it up. Aiden stops, throws one up for the paint. That is good. Dies off the back iron and falls through. Aiden's got 5. It's 25-16, 2:40 until the break. Baker spinning on the inside. Gets Hansen in the air, but dumps it down to Carolyn. Puts one up. Great D by Price, but it's rebounded by Carolyn on the offensive rebound, and his putback is good. As Grayson Carolyn gets his second basket, and it's 27-16 Alburnett. Matthew Klosterman into the front court. Has it on the right wing, dribbling left. Gives it over to Aiden Klosterman, top of the key. Aiden trying to get to the hoop. Stops. Tries to find Benton, miscommunication, taken away by Osborne. One-on-one fast break as Osborne lays it up, but it's no good. Good defense by Hansen to at least give Osborne something to think about there. Results in the missed shot as Matthew Klosterman drives in. Throws one up in the paint, no good. Rebound is tipped, picked up by Matthew Klosterman, and they throw it away. Wildcats need to slow down here as Coach Turner's back up to his feet. He is hot, giving his players an earful here. Under 2 minutes to go until the break. 27-16 is our score in favor of Alburnett. Still no fouls called in the Pirates' entire first half, and only 4 on Central City. Inside, Bowers steps through, puts it up, and it's good. Titan Bowers gets his second basket. It's 4 points for him, and it's 29-16. Matthew Klosterman into the front court. Guarded by Jordan Caton. 90 seconds to play here in the second quarter. Aiden Klosterman inside to Price. Takes a dribble, puts it up, blocked out of bounds by Bowers. The much bigger Titan Bowers steps in and blocks it out of bounds. As Carolyn is out of the game, replaced by Mason Neighbor. Adam Neighbor also back into the game. He will replace Baker. 21 on the shot clock for Central City as Matthew Klosterman will inbound the basketball. Gets it into Makai Benton. Caton takes it away, however. Jumps up and steals it, but they're going to say he stepped out of bounds. As Jordan Caton would have had a look at the hoop, but turned it over. And it goes back to Central City. Benton will inbound for the Wildcats. As he does so to Matthew Klosterman. Minute 20 to go in the second quarter. 29-16 Alburnett is our score. Down the floor to Hansen on the inside. Lays it up and gets it to go. Really nice finish there from Hansen. His first basket of the ball game. There was some good defense from Osborne, but Hansen just finished through the contact. Caton has it left wing for Alburnett. Gets past Aiden Klosterman. Dumps it down to Bowers. It's on the ground. Picked up by Bowers. Now Caton gets it back in the corner. Kicks it over to Osborne. Fakes the three. Driving in. Floater is going to be good off the window. Braden Osborne has 8. He had 27 when these teams met up in Alburnett earlier this year. It's 31-18 as Alburnett is leading Central City. 45 seconds till the break. Price driving in. Dumps it down. Aiden Klosterman with a floater in the paint. Nice job by Aiden to just get that one up there quickly. He's got 7. It's 31-20. Caton has it on the right wing. About a 2-second difference in the shot and game clock here. 26 in the shot clock as this one winding down towards halftime. Osborne gives it over to Caton, top of the key. Dribbling to his left. Pirates just trying to waste some time here as they have one player with the basketball. Everybody else stands at the left or right elbow. And now they will try to spread things out and run some offense after playing the keep-away game. 8 seconds in the shot clock. Caton uses the screen. Gets it over to Osborne. He'll take a right wing triple, and he puts it in. That's a big one there, as that will do it almost for the opening half, and they will let that be the end of the first half here. As Osborne drains the triple right before the halftime break. 11 first half points for him, and we go into the halftime break with the Pirates on top by 14. Our score, Alburnett 34 and Central City 20. So a tough second quarter there for Central City as they only put up 8 points, and the Pirates managed to extend this lead to 34-20. I believe I will be joined by Lucy Smith momentarily here for an interview. But before she arrives, let's take a look at some of those first half numbers. First for Alburnett, Braden Osborne was the lone double-digit scorer. He had 11. Scored in a variety of ways, including that back-breaking triple right before the horn to end the first half. Also scoring some points for the Pirates, Jordan Caton had 6, hit a couple of threes, both from that right corner. Titan Bowers had 4, as did Mason Neighbor and Grayson Carolyn. And Peyton Baker had 3 points, hit a big 3 right before the buzzer for a near shot clock violation. Coach Turner's back on the floor here. I'm wondering what he's walking over the scorer's table for. Again, our score is 34-20 here at halftime. He is going to go over to the book and make sure everything adds up. For Central City, they were led in that opening 16 minutes by Aiden Klosterman. He had 7 points. Matthew Klosterman added 5, but he was hampered by a couple of fouls, didn't play all that much. Makai Benton had 4. Braden Rickles and Jaden Hansen both had 2 points in the first half for Central City. Looking at the foul trouble, for Alburnett, there's none. They did not have a single foul called on them in that entire first half. Not sure I've ever seen that, but quite frankly, I can't really think of any times there was an obvious one that was missed or anything. It was just a fairly clean half, and these officials don't call too many fouls. Is how they've been all night, and they've been consistent. So as a partisan Wildcat fan, I'm really not complaining all that much about it, to be completely honest. For Central City, the big story is Matthew Klosterman has 2 fouls. Aiden Klosterman and Braden Rickles both had 1. And that was it for the fouls in the first half. 4 on Central City, none on Alburnett. And the Pirates lead at 34-20 here at the halfway point of this ball game. Are having some half-court shooting going on at the moment. Plenty of shots being thrown up by Pirates and Wildcats respectively. So before the game got underway, I talked a little bit about some of the games going on around the conference tonight. Now that we've got some time here at the break, let's do that a little bit more. Games around the west side of the conference, other than this one here, Alburnett at Central City. We've got Starmont at Springville, East Buchanan at North Lynn, and Maquoketa Valley at Edgewood Colesburg. Playing the guessing game, I think Springville will take care of Starmont. That would put the Orioles at 3-9, Stars at 0-12. Clearly going to go with North Lynn over East Buck. They would improve to a perfect 12-0, while the Buccaneers would fall to 6-6. And I would take Mac Valley over Edco as well. Mac Valley would improve to 8-4, and Edco fall to 1-11. If those results hold to form, then we could have a really big matchup coming up shortly to end the regular season over at Maquoketa Valley. Wildcats on Wildcats Part 2 could be for the third place spot in the conference, excuse me. And you might hear third place in the conference and think, oh, it's not that big of a deal, but when 2 of the teams in your conference are Alburnett and North Lynn, both top 10 in their respective classes, third place in a very tough Tri-Rivers West is nothing to shake your nose at, that is for sure. So that could be a big one coming up. We will take a look at that matchup, or the schedule remaining for Central City, I should say. Believe this will be our final regular season Wildcat Sports broadcast. The Wildcats will be back in action on Tuesday, January 31st at East Buchanan, taking on the Buccaneers. That is boys and girls. That'll be the regular season finale for the girls. For the boys, they will have one more game. That'll be boys only at Maquoketa Valley on February 7th. That'll be the Wildcats' second trip to Delhi this year. If you remember, Central City was forced to move their game from Central City to Delhi when these teams played the first time. That was due to the gym not having proper heating at the time. So unfortunately, Wildcats will have to go to Delhi twice to try to win the third place crown in the conference. So that will conclude the regular season. Like I said, do not anticipate either of those games airing here on the Wildcat Sports YouTube page, but I can assure you once postseason gets underway, I will do everything in my power to be at every single postseason game as long as it goes. Should have coverage, home or away, here on the Wildcat Sports YouTube channel. My assumption is this is going to be the final home game for Central City. For both sides, in fact, because for the boys, only the top 2 seeds get to host the first round. And I don't believe our girls will be an upper echelon seed to the point where you can host the first round game either. So quite possibly our final game here in Central City of the season. And for me, very well could be my final broadcast in this gym. Kind of a crazy thing to think about, but I will be graduating from the University of Northern Iowa coming up in the middle of May. We'll then be looking for full-time employment somewhere in the sports TV or sports radio world. Not too particular. If I get to work full-time in sports, I'll never work a day in my life, so I'll take whatever I can get. About 3:45 until we play second half basketball here in Central City. Again, our score is Alburnett 34 and Central City 20. Pirates are on the floor first, getting some shots up. Wildcats still in the locker room. I'm sure Coach Turner has plenty to say to those Wildcat players at the moment. It is an interesting thing to notice, just the massive difference in longevity in terms of coaches between these two teams. Ryan Turner, Central City's head coach, is just in year 1 after taking over for Tanner Carlson, former Wildcat coach who took over as the principal at North Cedar High School. Jeff Christofferson, on the other hand, is in year 30 at Alburnett as the head coach, has racked up 341 wins in his time with the Pirates. Brought them to the state championship game in Class 1A a few years ago. Has just obviously done an outstanding job with this Alburnett program. Coach Turner, however, still trying to build something here. He's got this team playing well. It's a team that only won 1 game 2 years ago, about, I think, 4 or 5 games last season. They're already up to 12 wins this year against a very tough schedule. Played some 3As in the non-conference portion of their schedule. They went to Independence and hosted Union out of LaPorte City in their season opener. Then also have 4 games against either Alburnett or North Lynn, 2 each, 1 home, 1 away. So when you have 4 matchups in your conference schedule against a team ranked in the top 10 of their respective class, that's never going to be a fun time. So really when you look at things, those 7 losses, 2 of them are to 3As. And then they've got 2 to North Lynn, 1 to Alburnett. Could be a second here tonight if they can't pull off the comeback in the second half. Another loss to Dunkerton, who is also a top 10 team in Class 1A. And then a loss to Easton Valley. So you could argue Easton Valley may be a bad loss, but that's also a really good Easton Valley team. I think you could wager there isn't a bad loss on this Wildcat schedule. Certainly a lot of building blocks for the future, especially when you consider the fact that only 4 players are graduating, only 1 of whom has started consistently this season. And the top 3 scorers are all coming back for their senior years if you're Mackay Benton or Aiden Klosterman, or your junior year if you're Matthew Klosterman. Speaking of seniors, it is worth mentioning Marcus Shellhorn is not in uniform tonight. That is certainly a big loss for Central City. Marcus had quite the game, especially rebounding the basketball against Alburnett, but fortunately Marcus not in uniform tonight, has missed the last 3 games. Could potentially be back for postseason play, depending on how far the Wildcats get. I was talking to some of the guys before this game. Certainly we're excited to meet up with such a big-time team in the form of Alburnett, obviously ranked 9th in the bigger class above Central City in 2A. Only 2 losses are to North Lynn. This is a big matchup, but unfortunately for the Wildcats, after a half, they trail by 14. This one certainly isn't over. Both teams are about set to go here for the second half, but the Wildcats do need to get something going pretty quickly if they want to have a strong second half of play. So thank you to all of you who stuck around through my rambling halftime, and now we're going to get some basketball going as both teams are on the floor with their starting 5s. It's the Klostermans, Greif, Rickles, and Benton for Central City. The neighbors, Bowers, alongside Caton and Osborne for the Pirates. Alburnett basketball first, as Jordan Caton crosses into the front court and the second half is underway. Caton uses the screen from Bowers. They find him on the lob play, but the pass is off the mark, goes off the backboard, and it's rebounded, or not even a rebound in this case, but picked up by Matthew Klosterman. Aiden Klosterman pulls up, right wing triple on the way, too strong off the back iron, and Caton, who has quite the leaping ability, skies up for the rebound. Only 5'9", but he can certainly get up there. Osborne driving in, finds Mason Neighbor, open left corner three, leaves it long, misses everything, and Benton pulls in the rebound. Those air balls can be the toughest shot to rebound, so good job by Benton. Do not let that one get tricky. Matthew Klosterman has it right wing, uses a screen from Rickles, gives it over to Lucas Greif. Now back to Matthew Klosterman, dribbling to his right, gets inside. It's blocked from behind by Bowers, but they're going to get a foul. First foul on Alburnett this entire game, interestingly enough to say. Not quite a minute into the third quarter. That will go on Titan Bowers, his first. And for the first time tonight, the Wildcats will go to the free throw line. Matthew Klosterman to shoot two. He is a 69, nearly 70% free throw shooter on the season. First one on the way from Matthew, too strong off the back iron. He'll get one more. These are two of the better free throw shooting teams in the conference. Both are in the top 5 in that category. As the second free throw is on the way for Matthew. He can't get that one to go either. Rebound is fought for by Benton. Great fight, picks it up. Matthew Klosterman's three-pointer is too strong, and Bauer secures the rebound. Osborne crossing the timeline into the front court. Gives it over to Adam Neighbor, top of the key. Minute gone in the third quarter. No score yet. 34-20 remains our score. Caton driving in, backs up. Now dribbling up, gives it to Adam Neighbor, top of the key. Pirates leading by 14 here. As they go inside to Bowers. Benton fighting, tries to take it away, but they're going to get him for a foul. His first couple swipes of the ball were clean, but did get some arm on that one, it looked like, so they're going to call the foul. That is Mackay's first, team's first of the half. Alburnett gets it with a fresh shot clock underneath their own hoop. Inbounds pass goes to Mason Neighbor. Osborne has it in the paint, spins. Thought about a jumper, over to Bowers on the perimeter. They'll leave him alone out there. As now Bowers starts to drive in, gives it over to Osborne. Now Adam Neighbor, top of the key, near the volleyball line. Left wing to Caton. Uses the screen from Bowers. Stops, pull up, triple on the way. Too strong off the back iron. Rebounded by Mackay Benton. Matthew Klosterman sends it over into the front court to Aiden Klosterman. High post to Rickles. Trying to go inside. Gets Bowers in the air. Puts it up, but it's no good. And Bowers does secure the rebound for the Pirates. Up ahead to Osborne. Osborne trying to get to the cup. Over to Neighbor. Fakes the three. Mason Neighbor driving in. Over to Osborne. Left alone. Right wing three. Rattles out. Adam Neighbor fighting for the rebound. It's going to be picked up by Mackay Benton. And he gets it over to Matthew Klosterman. Matthew into the front court. And they are going to get a foul on Matthew Klosterman. They call the offensive foul. Coach Turner certainly doesn't agree with that one. Personally, it looked like Adam Neighbor added a little bit of theatrics on the end of that play, but he got the call, and that will be Matthew's third. The Wildcat faithful certainly don't like it. That is team second. Matthew now playing with 3 fouls. Osborne has it left wing. Goes top of the key to Bowers. 34-20 still our score. No score yet in this third quarter. Caton has it top of the key. Fakes the three. Kicks it out. Adam Neighbor. Right wing triple. He can't get it to go. Rattles out. Was nearly down. Go out of bounds off of Bowers, and it goes to Central City. 5:39 to play in the third. It's 34-20 Alburnett. As Rickles will inbound to Aiden Klosterman. He gives it over to Matthew Klosterman, still in the backcourt. 3/4 court press being played by the Pirates as Matthew Klosterman has it into the front court. Still has his dribble, but he's double-teamed. Gets it over to Braden Rickles, driving baseline, stops, throws up a fall-away shot, misses everything, and it's rebounded by Mason Neighbor. Neighbor into the front court, driving to the cup. It's going to be taken away, picked up by Lucas Greif. He's trying to run. It's taken away, however, and Adam Neighbor picks it up. And they are going to get a foul on Central City, I believe. It's going to be on Lucas Greif. That is his first, team's third. And Alburnett takes over possession of the basketball. Adam Neighbor into the front court. Still no score through nearly 3 minutes of our third quarter. Mason Neighbor has the top of the key. Rickles tried to take that one away, couldn't do so. Bowers going to work inside, one-on-one with Benton, going along the baseline. Kicks it out, Osborne wide open, left of straight-on triple, but he leaves it short, misses everything. Good hustle by Mason Neighbor to try to save it, but it goes back to Central City. 4:54 to play in the third, 34-20 Alburnett. As Matthew Klosterman brings it up over to Aiden Klosterman. It's going to be kicked by Adam Neighbor. stays with Central City. Wildcats will inbound from in front of the scorer's table. Aiden will inbound to Matthew. Aiden gets it into Matthew in the backcourt. Trying to get into the front court. Matthew in some trouble, now crosses into the front court. In some trouble again, gets over to Rickles in the corner. Back to Matthew. Thought about a three, now takes a deep three-pointer, and he puts it in. Big three-pointer there from Matthew. He's got 8 points on the night. Finally, we see some scoring here in the second half. It's 34-23. Mason Neighbor trying to go to work inside. Steps through, throws up a floater, no good. Bowers with the offensive rebound. Driving in on the inside. And they're going to get Mackay for a foul. That is Mackay's second, team's fourth. Baker and Carolyn back into the game for the Pirates. Bowers and Adam Neighbor will go to the bench. Alburnett basketball from underneath their own hoop. Braden Osborne to inbound, everybody else in a box. Inbounds pass goes to Mason Neighbor in the left corner. Driving in, and they're going to get an offensive foul on Mason Neighbor for hooking his defender. So that time the offensive foul goes the other way. Mason Neighbor called for it, his first, team's second. And the Wildcats get the ball back. 34-23 our score, nearly halfway through our third quarter. As Matthew Klosterman takes the inbounds, and Jordan Caton's all over him as soon as he does. Aiden Klosterman back to Matthew. Gets it over to Aiden in the front court. Gives it over to Benton at the right elbow. Stops, puts up a jumper from the right elbow. No good, fighting for his own rebound. It's going to be picked up by Carolyn. It's a traveling violation. As Grayson Carolyn, I think he was anticipating some contact, jumped in, hit the deck, but had not been touched by any Wildcat players. That would, by rule, be a traveling violation. Matthew Klosterman to inbound. Goes off the back of Jordan Caton and gets the layup to go. Really heady play there from the sophomore. Throws it off of Caton's back, and now it's taken away by Aiden Klosterman. 34-25 our score. Matthew down the floor to Braden Rickles. Goes inside, throws it up, no good, but he's fouled. And Braden Rickles earns a trip to the free throw line. Foul's going to go on Braden Osborne. His first, and the team's third. Not sure I've ever seen that play in person. I've seen it on social media for sure, but Caton had his back to Matthew Klosterman, just threw it off of Caton's back, jumped into the court, and then had a wide open layup. Rickles' first free throw is good. It spins home. That's 3 for Rickles. He's just a 20% free throw shooter on the year, but he does get the first one to go. It's 34-26. Rickles will shoot one more. Second one on the way from Rickles, and he makes both. The senior steps up big time, makes some big free throws. He's got 4. It is 34-27, 3:40 to go until the end of the third. Caton into the front court to Carolyn. Over to Baker. Skip pass over to Osborne, driving in. Over to Mason Neighbor. Fakes the 3, gets it to Caton, top of the key. Step back move. Now back to Mason Neighbor. Baker has the top of the key. Pirates will look to reset here. Now we got a timeout called by Coach Christofferson. First timeout used by Alburnett here tonight is a full timeout. 3:22 to go in the third quarter. It's Alburnett 34 and Central City 27. Take this chance to give a shout out to our sponsor, Heartland Bank. Heartland Banks here provide the kind of services to keep community in banking. That means working with local businesses to provide funding to help them grow and giving guidance and support when you're ready to purchase your first home. Heartland Bank, we're here for you. So Wildcats trying to crawl back into this one. They're outscoring the Pirates 7-0 so far here in this third quarter and are back within a 34-27 score, just trailing by 7. Have cut their deficit in half, but still plenty of work to do. And I promise you the Pirates won't go scoreless the rest of the game, so they're going to have to get their offense going and keep up this outstanding defense we've seen so far this second half. Warning horn sounds. Both teams will be back out there momentarily. Believe I saw Jaden Hansen go to the scorer's table for Central City. He'll be back into the ball game. Benton, Greif, and the Klostermans join him. For the Pirates, it is Caton, Baker, alongside Bowers, Carolyn, and Osborne. Pirate basketball. Caton will inbound. Waiting for the ready-to-play signal. We now have it, and Caton inbounds to Baker. Baker has it, gives it over to Osborne. Uses the screen, dribbling right. Dumps it down inside to Bowers. He's guarded by Benton in there. Dumps it down to Osborne. He floats one up, and it's no good. Benton secures the rebound. Gives it behind his back to Matthew Klosterman, who brings it up for Central City. Into the front court, guarded by Caton as soon as he crosses the timeline. Has it right wing. Caton all over him, trying to reach in and grab the basketball. Matthew pulls up for a jumper from the free throw line, but it rattles out and rebounded by Bowers. Caton into the front court for Alburnett, has it left wing, dumps it down inside to Carolyn. He goes up, that is good, and finally the Pirates are on the board here in the second half. Grayson Carolyn gets his first basket of the second half. He's got 6 points on the night. It's 36-27. Benton driving in. It's a nice step-through move, but he's too strong on the layup. Claps his hands in frustration as Osborne runs the other way. Caton fakes the three. Gets it over to Osborne. Now Baker has it. Driving inside. Baker steps through, throws it up, and it's an offensive foul. Offensive foul called on Peyton Baker. His first. It's going to be team's third, I believe, or maybe fourth. Nonetheless, it goes back to Central City, and it was the team's fourth. Both Alburnett and Central City have 4 here in the second half. It's 36-27. Pirates going to be in a full court press here. Benton will inbound. Klostermans are down there to help him. It's picked up by Matthew Klosterman on the inbounds play. As Matthew is guarded by Baker, and he crosses the timeline. Matthew driving inside. Kicks it out to Aiden Klosterman. He's double-teamed top of the key. Caton nearly takes it away. Dumps it over to Lucas Greif. Lays it up. Little floater, or underhanded layup. No good, and rebounded by Carolyn. Osborne kicks it ahead to Caton. Was nearly open, but defense came quickly. Baker has it right wing. Dumps it inside to Bowers. Backside, finds Carolyn. It's good, and they're going to get a foul. Big-time bucket for Grayson Carolyn. He's got 8, chance to make it 9, as I believe Lucas Greif was just called for his second. That is Central City's 5th, and Adam Neighbors back into the game, replacing Braden Osborne. So it's 38-27, under 2 minutes to go until the end of the third. Carolyn will shoot 1. He is a 70% free throw shooter on the season, and he gets that one to go. Nothing but nylon for the senior. Pirates extend their lead here, 39-27. Minute 45 to go in the third. Matthew Klosterman into the front court. Backs out, has a top of the key. Dribbling to his left. Picks up his dribble over to Hansen left wing. Now Hansen dribbling right. Getting inside the paint. Steps through. Nice take by Hansen, but he can't finish the layup. And it's rebounded by Bowers up ahead to Baker. Out to Caton. Has it at the volleyball line on the right wing. 90 seconds to play in the third. Over to Adam Neighbor, top of the key. Gets it back to Caton. Caton dribbling around. 20 seconds in the shot clock. Adam Neighbor has it left wing. Rejects the screen. Goes the other way, and they're going to get a foul. As Adam Neighbor works his way back to the free throw line, and Jaden Hansen just picked up his first, team 6th. Adam Neighbor will shoot 2, as yet to score so far tonight. He's making 2/3 of his free throws so far this season. First one on the way from the southpaw. That is going to be no good. Left it a touch short off front of the rim. He will get one more. Again, our score is 39-27. Alburnett by 12. A minute 14 to go in the third. Second one on the way from Adam Neighbor. That one is good. He gets 1 of 2. His first point of the night. It's 40-27. A little over a minute to go in the third. Matthew Klosterman into the front court. Picks up his dribble over to Hansen, left wing. High post inside to Benton. Steps through, puts it up. Really tough finish by Benton. He's got 6 points in the night. It's 40-29. Alburnett on top by 11. No look pass inside from Baker to Carolyn, but he can't finish, and it's rebounded by Aiden Klosterman. Matthew Klosterman into the front court now. Has the top of the key. Steps back for a 3 off the mark and rebounded by Caton. Caton met by Benton and Aiden Klosterman, but retreats and gets it over to Baker. Skip pass, Adam Neighbor dumps it down to Bowers. Benton tried to steal it. Bowers works through it, and he's fouled. Benton thought it was a block, clean, but they're going to call a foul. That's going to be Mackay's third. Team foul number 7, and the Pirates are now, or the Wildcats, I should say, are over the limit. Titan Bowers will shoot a couple of free throws on the year, a 65% free throw shooter. First one on the way from Bowers. That one is going to be good. Rolls off the rim, off the back iron, and in. Mason Neighbor back into the game. He replaces Grayson Carolyn. 4 fouls on Alburnett, 7 on Central City. Pirates are shooting the rest of the way. Final 8 minutes plus a 32 seconds remaining in this quarter. Second one is no good from Bowers. He makes 1 of 2. Give him 5 on the night. It's 41-29. Wildcats can hold for 1 if they choose to, but I don't think they will. Matthew Klosterman being told by Coach Turner to get rid of it. Gets it over to Benton. Now back to Matthew Klosterman. 15 seconds and counting here in the third quarter. Over to Aiden Klosterman, back to Benton, right back to Matthew Klosterman. They are going to look to hold for one here. Down to 7 seconds. Over to Greif on the right wing. Down to 5. Now the Wildcats got to go. Over to Aiden Klosterman. Steps into a three-pointer. He puts it in. Aiden Klosterman drains the three right before the buzzer, and that was a big one. Wildcats get back within single digits after 3 quarters of play. It is Alburnett 41 and Central City 32. So certainly the Pirates still in control of this game, but the Wildcats have got to be proud of their effort, especially in that third quarter. Staying within striking distance, and we'll see if they can get some magic going here in the fourth. Both Klosterman boys have 10 points for Central City so far. Matthew and Aiden both with 10. Makai Benton has 6. Braden Rickles with 4. And Jaden Hansen has 2. For Alburnett, Braden Osborne has 11, but did not score in the third quarter. Grayson Carrollin having himself a nice game. He's got 9 points. 6 from Jordan Caton, 5 from Titan Bowers, 3 from Peyton Baker, and 1 from Adam Neighbor. Can't remember if I mentioned it. Mason Neighbor also has 4 for the Pirates. Wildcats going with the Klostermans, Rickles, Benton, and Greif. Pirates out there with their starting 5 of the Neighbors alongside Caton, Bowers, and Osborne. Wildcat basketball to begin the final 8 minutes. Inbounds pass goes to Matthew Klosterman, and the fourth quarter is underway. Matthew crosses the timeline into the front court. Guarded by Adam Neighbor, gets it over to Braden Rickles, now left wing to Aiden Klosterman. Aiden driving in on Caton. Looking around, it's tipped, nearly taken away. Now Osborne does take it away. And now Benton tries to take it away, but Osborne gets back to it. Adam Neighbor can't get it to go on the inside, but they're going to get a foul in there as he got his defender into the air. Foul will go on Matthew Klosterman, it appears. And I've got that as his 4th, so that's tough. Matthew's going to be careful the rest of the way as Adam Neighbor will shoot 2 here. First one from Adam Neighbor is no good. Left it a touch short, rolled off left side of the rim. And he will shoot 1 more. Just 1 point tonight for Adam. Came at the free throw line, of course. He will shoot 1 more. Second one on the way. That is also too short off front of the rim. It's rebounded by the Pirates, however. Mason Neighbor picks it up, but Aiden Klosterman takes it away. Aiden finds Matthew Klosterman, and he crosses into the front court. Matthew playing with 4 fouls here. He's got to be careful. Matthew has it right wing, gives it over to Aiden Klosterman. Now back to Benton, has it on the right wing once again. Driving inside, stepping through, stepping back, throws it up, and he's fouled. Makai takes quite a bit of contact that time and earns, keyword earns, his way to the free throw line. Foul called on Mason Neighbor, his 2nd, team's 5th. On the year, Benton a 75% free throw shooter, and here he will shoot 2. First one on the way from Benton. He buries it. That's a big one. Give him 7 on the night. It's 41-33 with another free throw upcoming for Makai Benton. Second one from Benton on the way. That is perfect as well. Catches nothing but net on both of those free throws. He's got 8. Now the Wildcats in a full court press. 41-33 our score. 45 seconds gone in this fourth quarter. Out of bounds. Off of Alburnett. Yep. Off of the Pirates. Goes to Central City. Benton provided the pressure, and the ball rolled off Mason Neighbor's leg out of bounds. It will be Central City basketball. They're back within 7 points here, 41-34. This is about as close as they got in their last little run. Now they got to try to get even further and make this one a tight ball game down these final 7 minutes. Lucas Greif has it right wing. Top of the key to Matthew Klosterman. Dangerously close to that midcourt stripe, but keeps it in front. Matthew over to Aiden Klosterman. Free throw line jumper. He gets it to go. That's 12 points for Aiden Klosterman. And we're back to a 5-point ball game. Lucas Greif causes the steal. Aiden Klosterman takes it away. Dump down. Makai Benton. Yes, we're back to a 3-point game. Timeout on the floor. Benton's got 10. 6.5 to go in the ball game. 41-38. Wildcats have it back within 3. And we need a timeout. Do the Pirates, that is. 30-second timeout. They've got a 30 and 2 fulls remaining. Wildcats have all 3 fulls and a 30. 41-38 is our score. Alburnett by 3 as I will try to catch my breath here quickly during this timeout. So far, so good on this full court pressure from Central City. They are causing some serious issues for the Pirates. They've got it back to a one-possession ball game. Pirate basketball, no subs for either team. Both teams have their starting 5 on the floor. Mason Neighbor will inbound. Gets it into Jordan Caton. Wildcats aren't denying the inbound pass. They are pressuring once they get it in. Adam Neighbor has it. He's double-teamed. Gets it into the front court, however. Dumped down to Osborne. He's driving in. Gets inside. Lays it up. No good. Benton with the rebound. Wildcats could theoretically tie it here on this possession. 3-point ball game. 6:20 to go in the fourth. Matthew driving in. Steps through. Lays it up. And it's good. Matthew Klosterman lays it up. He's got a dozen. And we've got a 1-point game. 41-40. 6 minutes to play. Adam Neighbor guarded by Benton. Caton crosses the timeline into the front court, has it left wing. Reverses course, back out to Osborne. Pirates trying to reset things here. Adam Neighbor, top of the key. Left wing to Caton, uses the screen from Bowers. Caton steps up, dumps it down to Bowers. Benton is there. Over to Mason Neighbor, and an offensive foul is called. Braden Rickles steps in and takes a charge, and Mason Neighbor is called for the offensive foul. That is his third, team 6th. And every foul the rest of the ball game, we'll be shooting free throws. That goes for both sides. 41-40 Alburnett. Matthew Klosterman into the front court. Lucas Greif has it poked but gets it back. Gets it to Benton, it's loose. Osborne's gonna pick it up. He's running, and it's poked from behind by Aiden Klosterman. They're gonna get him for a foul. He tells the official he didn't touch anything but the basketball, and he's correct. But that's gonna be free throws coming up. Aiden is called for his second, team 9th. There'll be a 1-and-1 coming up for Braden Osborne. Osborne has 11 points on the night, has yet to score here in the second half. Osborne is a 67% free throw shooter on the season. So now we're taking a pause here. I don't know what they're discussing exactly, but they are confirming it is a 1-and-1. That is the case. That was the 9th team foul, so Osborne will shoot 1-and-1. First one on the way from Osborne. That is good. Give him 12 on the night, and he will get one more. It's 42-40 Alburnett. Pirates by 2, 5.5 to play in the ball game. Second free throw upcoming from Osborne. The 6'3 junior gets that one to go as well. He's got 13, and it's 43-40. Matthew Klosterman takes the inbounds pass, guarded by Adam Neighbor in the full court. Matthew has both Neighbors double teaming him, finds Benton. Pulls up for a right wing triple, and he puts it in. Makai Benton drains the 3. We're tied 43 all, 5:15 to play. Osborne has it left wing, dumps it down to Bowers on the inside. Guarded by Benton, trying to get in there, steps through, goes the other way, puts it up, and it's no good, but they're gonna get Benton for a foul. Wasn't a whole lot of contact that time, but they're gonna call it, and that is Makai's fourth. Both Makai and Matthew Klosterman have 4. And Bowers will shoot 2. That is Central City's 10th. They are over the double bonus, and the Pirates will shoot 2 the rest of the way. This time it is Bowers, who has 5 points in the night, shooting 2. He misses the first. He will get one more. Looks like that is Grayson Carolyn at the scorer's table, but he is for Bowers, so he will not come in quite yet. 43 all here, 5 minutes to play in the ball game. Second free throw on the way from Bowers. That is good. Rolls through, off the rim, and in. He goes 1 of 2. Give him 6. It's 44-43 Alburnett, and Carolyn is into the ball game for Bowers. Matthew Klosterman bringing it up for Central City. Crosses the timeline, guarded by Adam Neighbor, uses a screen. Now he's double teamed. Now it's just back to Neighbor and gives it to Benton, top of the key, fakes the 3 over to Aiden Klosterman. Hands it off to Matthew Klosterman. Stops at the elbow, gives it back to Aiden. Back to Matthew with 16 on the shot clock. Matthew driving in, pulls up for a jumper. It is good. Matthew Klosterman puts in the jumper. He's got 14. For the first time since it was 3-2, Wildcats lead it 45-44. Adam Neighbor driving inside, gets past the defender, dumps it down for Mason Neighbor, out to Carolyn for a triple, and he drains it. Grayson Carolyn steps up and makes the huge 3. He's got 12. Pirates lead by 2, 47-45, 4:15 to play. Matthew Klosterman into the front court for Central City, guarded by Adam Neighbor. Uses a crossover, dribble move, has it poked loose, gets it out to Aiden Klosterman, fakes the 3, spins the other way, gives it back to Benton. He'll take a straight-on triple, off the mark, rebounded by Osborne. Caton into the front court for Alburnett. Guarded by Rickles, now dumps it down to Carolyn, and Benton just fouled out. It was a foul this time, as Carolyn will shoot two, and Makai Benton is going to foul out of the ballgame. That's a big loss for Central City, as he will finish his night with 13 points. His fifth, team's already over the limit with 10, as Hansen will replace him. Also have Castor Abernathy into the game for Central City. He will replace Braden Rickles. It is Grayson Carolyn at the free throw line for Alburnett, as Makai Benton gets a really nice hand from both sides of the crowd, in fact, as he fouls out with 3:57 to play in the ballgame. What an effort from Makai tonight, but he will foul out about halfway through our fourth quarter. Carolyn does get the first free throw to go, rolls off front of the rim and through. He's having himself a nice game. He averages about 5.5 a night. He's got 13, chance to make it 14. As his second free throw is on the way. That one's too strong, and the rebound is picked up by Lucas Greif. It's 48-45 Pirates, 3:50 to play. Matthew spins inside, floats it up. It is good. What a finish inside by Matthew Klosterman, and he's got 16. It's a one-point ball game, 48-47, 3:45 to play. Caton over top of the key to Adam Neighbor. High post to Mason Neighbor, guarded by Aiden Klosterman. Gives to Caton, left open for a straight-on triple. Off the mark, but Carolyn gets the rebound, but is poked loose and picked up by Aiden Klosterman. Wildcats down one. Matthew crosses into the front court. Matthew with the dribble move, pulls up for the jumper, and it's good. That's 18 points for Matthew Klosterman. Wildcats lead at 49-48, 3:15 to play. Caton has it on the left wing. Hands it off to Osborne. Osborne dribbling inside, steps through, nearly lost it. Gets it out to Adam Neighbor. 3 minutes to play, 49-48 Central City. Caton uses the screen, dumps it inside to Mason Neighbor, throws it up, and they're going to get Aiden Klosterman for a foul. That'll be Aiden's third. It'll be 2 free throws for Mason Neighbor. 49-48, 1 free throw would tie it. 2 free throws would give him the lead. Mason Neighbor on the night has 4 points with some big free throws coming up. The first one is good. Give him 5. We're tied at 49. Dayton Price back into the game for Central City, replacing Lucas Greif. And for the Pirates, Braden Osborne's going to go to the bench. He's replaced by Peyton Baker. We've also got Titan Bowers at the scorer's table. He will replace Mason Neighbor, but not until he shoots this free throw. Pirates will take the lead with this free throw. Second one on the way from Neighbor is good. Mason Neighbor makes both. Give him 6 on the night. It's 50-49 Alburnett. 3 minutes to go in the ball game, and now Bowers does replace Mason Neighbor. Full court pressure is off as Matthew Klosterman takes the inbounds pass. Matthew walking it up into the front court, has it on the right wing, hands it off to Abernathy. Gives it over to Jaden Hansen now, over to Aiden Klosterman left wing. Matthew has the top of the key, thought about a 3, driving in, stops on the inside, out to Abernathy. Castor Abernathy for 3, he got it! Castor Abernathy comes in, had hardly played all night, and drains a triple to give the Wildcats a 2-point lead. 52-50, 2.5 to go. I'd argue Castor's never hit a bigger 3 in his life. Baker driving in, spins on the inside, puts it up, rolls off the rim, no good. Beautiful box out from Dayton Price, and he pulls it in. Matthew Klosterman into the front court for Central City. 2:15 to play in the game, 52-50 Wildcats. Matthew drives in, stops, pull-up jumper, he gets it to go! It rolls home! Matthew's got 20, Wildcats by 4, 2 minutes to go. Adam Neighbor has a top of the key, over to Baker left wing. Baker driving in, stops, thought about a pull-up, out to Adam Neighbor. Inside, Bowers going to work, steps through, puts it up, it's good. Really nice finish by Bowers that time, give him 8. It's 54-52 as Matthew Klosterman hits the deck, but Abernathy takes the inbounds pass. And we're going to get a timeout called by Coach Turner. I like that called timeout there by Coach Turner. Abernathy not super comfortable in that situation, so I like the call to use the timeout. 1:41 to play in the ball game. It is 54-52. Central City by 2 over 2A's 9th-ranked team in the state. Looking at the fouls, Makai Benton is done for the night. He finished with 13 points and fouled out. Matthew Klosterman is playing with 4. He's got to be really careful here. He has 20 points in the night. Aiden Klosterman has 3. Lucas Greif has 2. Braden Rickles and Jaden Hansen have 1. For Alburnett, Mason Neighbor has 3. Nobody else has more than 1. I don't know how this game is going to finish after these final couple minutes run off, but I do know one thing. The Wildcats already have a whole lot to be proud of here tonight, as the Pirate team has only lost a couple of ball games all year, both of whom to North Lynn. My pick for state champion in Class 1A if I was making a prediction. And they are giving the Pirates everything they can handle and more. Wildcats with the Klostermans, Hanson, Price, and Abernathy. Pirates with Caton, alongside Osborne, Mason Neighbor, Carolyn, and Baker. Abernathy to inbound here. Gets it into Matthew Klosterman in the backcourt. It was tipped, but he takes his time and goes and gets the basketball. Lets it go, in fact. It was tipped by Alburnett, so it stays with Central City. Not a bad move there by Matthew. Wasted some time without any negative effect for the Wildcats. So Abernathy will throw it in. Wildcats by 2 here, 54-52. A minute 40 to play. Matthew takes the inbounds pass. Poked out of bounds by Mason Neighbor, but stays with Central City. And they will get it with 30 seconds in the shot clock. A minute 38 to go in the game. Again, it's 54-52. Central City on top by a pair. Abernathy will inbound, does so to Matthew Klosterman. Matthew guarded by Mason Neighbor, but not really tight on the defense here. Dribbling left, hands it over to Hanson. Hanson trying to get inside, stops, kicks it out to Abernathy on the right wing, back to Hanson. Has it just right of top of the key, now over to Matthew Klosterman. Matthew steps back, does not take the 3, and they're going to call it travel. It's not a travel, but they're going to call it. It's a clean step back move that has been ruled to be legal, but nonetheless they call the travel there. And it goes back to Alburnett. 54-52 is our score. A minute 22 to go in the game as Peyton Baker will bring it up for the Pirates. Baker into the front court. Gives it over to Caton. Uses a screen from Mason Neighbor. Over to Osborne. Inside to Bowers. Guarded by Price. Bowers goes up. His layup is good, and we are tied. Bowers has 10 points. It's 54 all. 1 minute to go in the game. Matthew spins, throws it up. He was hooked, and his shot's no good, but he's fouled, so he'll shoot 2. Foul is going to go against Mason Neighbor. That is his 4th. Team 7th, so they are over the limit. Both teams now are. Matthew Klosterman will shoot 2 big ones here. It's a tie ball game, 54-54, as Matthew will shoot 2. First one is on the way. It's good. 21 for the sophomore point guard as Lucas Greif and Braden Rickles are back into the game, replacing Castor, Abernathy, and Dayton Price. And now we've got a timeout called by Coach Turner, a 30-second timeout. 59.5 seconds to go. It is Central City 55, Alburnett 54. And after the timeout, Matthew Klosterman will shoot 1 more. So the Wildcats have 2 fulls, Pirates have 2 fulls, and a 30. Matthew Klosterman leading the way with 21 for Central City. Before he fouled out, Makai Benton had 13, and Aiden Klosterman had 12, has 12 so far. So the usual big 3, if you will, have certainly come to play for the Wildcats tonight. All of them are into double figures. No subs for either side. Same 5 are out there for both teams as Matthew Klosterman will go to the free throw line, and he will shoot 1 here. Trying to get a 2-point advantage here with under a minute to go. Matthew takes a deep breath. Free throw on the way. That is good. Nothing but net. Give him 22. 56-54 Central City. Under a minute to go in the ball game. Peyton Baker with the basketball, guarded by Lucas Greif in the full court. Gives to Osborne. Has it top of the key. Dumps it down inside to Bowers. Guarded by Rickles on the inside. Double team comes from behind. They're going to call a foul on Aiden Klosterman. That'll be Aiden's 4th. He's got to be careful here. Both Klosterman boys have 4. And Titan Bowers will shoot 2. If he makes both, we'd be tied, as he will be subbed out by Grayson Carolyn after these free throws. First one from Bowers on the way. That is good. 11 points for Titan Bowers. It's 56-55, Central City by 1, 46 seconds to go. Bowers will shoot 1 more. Second one on the way from Bowers. That is good, and we're tied. Bowers makes both. Give him a dozen. And he is replaced by Grayson Carolyn. 45 seconds to go. It is 56 all as Matthew Klosterman takes the inbounds pass. Matthew dribbling it up, crosses the timeline into the front court. Has it on the right wing, guarded by Mason Neighbor. Taking his time here. Matthew looking around. Wasting some time now. We got a timeout being called by Coach Turner, screaming for the timeout, finally gets it. And that will be a full timeout. It's all he has left. He has one full remaining. 24 seconds to go in the game with 14 on the shot clock. It is Central City 56 and Alburnett 56. So we are knotted up 56 all. 24 seconds to go in the game. And remember, with the shot clock in effect, Wildcats cannot hold for one here. They have 14 seconds to get off a shot. There is a 10-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Very curious to see what Coach Turner is going to draw up here in this timeout. And what the Pirates will look to do with Coach Christofferson leading their huddle to try to counteract whatever Coach Turner draws up. Fun game of chess here, and what a fun basketball game we have had here tonight. Warning horn sounds. Both teams will be back out there in a moment. Pirates back out there first. Now the Wildcats take the floor. They have possession of the basketball. It's Rickles, the Klostermans, Greif, and Hansen. Hansen to inbound. Does so in the backcourt to Matthew Klosterman. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Matthew has the top of the key. Guarded by Mason Neighbor. Calls for a screen and gets it. Down to 6 seconds. Matthew dancing around in the back behind the three-point line. Lucas Greif. Matthew throws up a three. It rattles out, no good. Out of bounds off of Aiden Klosterman. Pirates get it with 7.5 seconds to go. We're all tied up. Got some subs here for Alburnett, as we got a timeout called by the Pirates now. Coach Christofferson will use a full 60-second timeout. 7.7 on the clock, and we are knotted up. It is 56 all. So unfortunately, Wildcats did not get a really good shot out of that timeout. Pirates guarded it well. I think they were looking for something in the corner with a screen set for Aiden, but didn't end up being an open look. So we're all tied up, and we've got 7.7 seconds to go in the ball game. Both games coming down to the wire tonight after both were blowouts over in Alburnett earlier this year. Love to see that. Now hopefully we can see a Central City win in these final few seconds. Tell you what, my heart hasn't raced at a basketball game like this since I was in the uniform. It's a fun team to watch, taking a just outstanding Alburnett team down to the wire here. Quite the effort we've seen so far, but this one ain't over. Both teams are back on the floor. 7.7 seconds. Pirates have to go the length of the floor. Mason Neighbor will inbound it. And here we go. 7 seconds. Inbounds pass goes to Caton. He's making his way down the floor into the front court. Dumps it over. Baker driving inside. Lays it up. His layup's off the mark. Osborne put back at the horn is no good. And we are going to overtime. 4 quarters is not enough tonight. We are going to play bonus basketball here in Central City. So we will play 4 extra minutes at least. Regulation was not enough. 32 minutes of play, and we're no closer to deciding a winner than we were this morning before the ball game. We got 4 more minutes to go, folks. Buckle in. We've got some fun basketball to go. So the Wildcats led by Matthew Klosterman with 22 points. Braden Osborne and Grayson Carolyn both have 13 for Alburnett to lead the way for the Pirates. And we are just about set to go for 4 extra minutes of play between Alburnett and Central City. Wildcats stage an impressive comeback in this 4th quarter, and we're playing at least 4 more minutes. Wildcats have the Klostermans with Hansen, Rickles, and Greif. Who is going to jump center in this lineup? Bowers, Baker, Mason, Neighbor, Caton, and Osborne for the Pirates. It looks like they're going to have Lucas Greif jump center with Braden Osborne. So still the Wildcats working right to left, Pirates working left to right. I think the Wildcats are just going to concede the jump ball here, and they just want to get back and play defense. Lucas does not even jump for the jump ball, don't blame him, and overtime is underway. Mason Neighbor has it top of the key, uses a screen, trying to get to the hoop. Rickles hits the deck, it's going to be out of bounds, was not touched by the Wildcats. So after 10 seconds of overtime, the Wildcats force a turnover, goes back to Central City. Matthew Klosterman bringing it up for Central City. Has into the front court, uses a screen from Hansen. Goes the other way, over to Rickles' left wing. Gives it over to Aiden Klosterman, dribbling right, has it top of the key, driving in, kicks it out to Greif, now over to Hansen. Rickles with the basketball here, driving inside, steps up, throws up a wild shot, it's no good, and Bowers pulls in the rebound. Osborne racing down the floor for Alburnett. Crosses the timeline, gives it to Baker. Over to Caton, right wing. Caton dribbling to his left, has it top of the key, back towards the logo, now gives to Osborne. Over to Baker, top of the key, left wing, goes to Mason Neighbor. Inside, Bowers trying to step through, out to Mason Neighbor for an open three, and he puts it in. Mason Neighbor drops down the three, he's got 9. It's 59-56 Alburnett, 3 minutes to go in overtime. Matthew Klosterman into the front court, driving in. Nice take inside, but it's not good. Off the mark, rebounded by Mason Neighbor. He's looking to run. Gets it over to Caton. His triple on the way. He knocks it down. And the Pirates lead by 6, 62-56. And Coach Turner uses the timeout, his final timeout. 2:39 to go in overtime. Alburnett 62 and Central City 56. So back-to-back three-pointers give Alburnett a 6-point advantage. Mason Neighbor hits one, then Jordan Caton hits one. Both of them have 9 points. And now the Pirates lead this one by 6 with 3 minutes to go in overtime. I'm not sure if you get extra timeouts in overtime, maybe one extra, but if you do not, then Coach Turner is out, and Coach Christofferson has a full and a 30. So 62-56 is our score here. 2A's 9th-ranked team, Alburnett, getting everything they can handle here in Central City tonight. They do have the 6-point lead with a few minutes to go here in the overtime period. The first horn sounds, and both teams will retake the floor in a moment. Wildcats going out there with the Klostermans, Hansen, Greif, and Rickles. Pirates with the Neighbors, Osborne, Bowers, and Caton. Wildcat basketballs, the Pirates are going to go into a full-court press. Aiden Klosterman will inbound it as Matthew is double-teamed. Aiden looking to inbound. Matthew is double-teamed here. He does get it into Matthew Klosterman, and Caton takes a dive, but he's going to be called for the foul. Caton not getting up. I hope he's all right. That'll be Jordan Caton's first, as he's a little slow to get up here. He will be helped to his feet and stays in the game. Team's 8th, as Matthew Klosterman will go down and shoot a 1-and-1 as Caton is helped off the floor. He is replaced by Peyton Baker. So Matthew Klosterman going to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. 62-56 our score. Alburnett on top. 2:37 to go in the overtime period. Big free throws here for Matthew. He's got 22 points on the night. This is a 1-and-1, remember. First one on the way from Matthew. He can't get it to go, rattles out, and Mason Neighbor pulls in the rebound. Osborne into the front court, gets it over to Baker in the corner. Inside, Aiden Klosterman takes it away. Aiden gets the steal, gives to Matthew Klosterman into the front court. Matthew has it right wing. Looking around, picks up his dribble. Gets it to Braden Rickles. Braden driving in. It's tipped and stolen away by Baker. Baker comes up with the steal. 2:10 to go in the game. 62-56 Alburnett. In overtime, that is. Osborne has it. Now they're going to look to hold it out. Gives it over to Osborne. Inside, Bowers turns, puts it up, and Matthew has to let him. He has 4 fouls. It's 14 for Bowers. It's 64-56 Alburnett. Matthew straight on triples off the mark, too strong, and rebounded by Bowers. Osborne gives it over to Baker, crossing the timeline. Now the Pirates are looking to waste some time. Minute 35 to go in the overtime as Osborne gets to the cup and lays it in. Braden Osborne's layup is good. He's got 15. It's a 10-point Pirate lead here in the overtime period. Matthew Klosterman has it right wing. Gets it over to Lucas Greif. Greif driving in. Dumps it over to Aiden Klosterman. Right wing three-pointer. Too long. Off the mark. It's rebounded by Braden Osborne. Trapped in the corner. Gets it out of there, and nope, we're going to have a timeout before. Timeout called by Coach Christofferson. It's a full. A minute 11 to go in the overtime. It's Alburnett 66 and Central City 56. So here in the overtime period, it is 10-0 Alburnett. And they lead it by 10 with about a minute, 10 seconds to go. Certainly a valiant effort by the Wildcats tonight, but barring a miracle, looks like they will fall just short against 2A's 9th-ranked team. Was a full 60-second timeout called by Coach Christofferson. He's just got a 30 remaining, and the Wildcats are out of timeouts. Wildcats back on the floor first. They're going with the Klostermans alongside Greif, Rickles, and Hansen. Pirates back on the floor with Caton, Baker, Osborne, Bowers, and Mason Neighbor. Neighbor will inbound here. Has it right in front of the Central City student section. And Braden Rickles will be in his face, giving him something to think about, trying to inbound the basketball. Neighbor having some trouble getting it in. Finds Bowers, but Hansen takes it away. Has a wide open layup, and he puts it in. Big time play from Hansen. He's got 4. It's 66-58. Caton gets it over to Baker. Baker into the front court to Neighbor. Neighbor gives it over to Caton. Has it top of the key. They certainly don't want to foul him. He's a 90+% free throw shooter on the year. Baker driving in. Neither Klosterman boy can foul. They both have 4. Osborne gets it over to Caton, top of the key. 10 seconds in the shot clock. Caton gets it over to Baker. Wide open, straight on triple. He's off the mark on that one. And Matthew Klosterman rebounds. Matthew bumped all over the place by Bowers, but he gets it over to Lucas Greif. Aiden Klosterman, right wing 3 is blocked by Baker, picked up by Osborne. He's looking to run. Lays it up, it's no good. Rebounded by Baker, and they're going to get Matthew for just a weak little foul that's going to end his night. Not much of a foul there whatsoever, but they're going to call Matthew for it. His 5th, he's done for the night. He'll finish with an outstanding 22-point performance. And they're going to get a technical foul. They're going to call Matthew for a technical foul. I don't know what he did. Just personally, that seems like unless Matthew said something just really blatantly inappropriate, I don't see why you call that technical foul with 20 seconds to go in a game that's over. Again, unless Matthew dropped a serious curse word or specifically told that referee something negative about himself personally, then I see absolutely no reason to call a technical foul in that situation. There's 20 seconds to go in an 8-point game that's over with. Nonetheless, Braden Osborne will shoot the 2 technical free throws, and Matthew has nothing to hang his head over. What a ball game that young man just put out there with 22 points. And my apologies, is Peyton Baker shooting the free throws. He gets the first, give him 4 on the night. Second one is on the way from Baker, and he puts that one in as well. He's got 5, and now it'll be Jordan Caton to shoot the technical free throws. He is a 94% free throw shooter on the year. And I'd love to know what Matthew said that was enough to cause a technical foul in this situation. As Caton gets the first, give him 10 on the night. And he will shoot one more. Second one from Caton is up. That one's good as well. He's got 11. It's 70-58, Central City basketball with 20 seconds to go. Alburnett basketball with 20 seconds to go. Mason Neighbor will throw it in. And he throws one up towards Osborne. He picks it up, guarded by Aiden Klosterman. And now we will just have him hold it out, gives it over to Caton. And I don't know why Lucas did that. An intentional foul by Lucas Greif is going to give Caton some more free throws. That's Lucas's third, and Jordan Caton will go back to the free throw line to shoot 2. First one on the way from Caton. That is good. He's got 12 points and chance to make it 13. And more than likely will make it 13. And he does not. Misses that one. Rebounded by Rickles. Aiden Klosterman to the front court, over to Lucas Greif. Driving in. Lays that one up. It's blocked by Bowers. He secures the rebound. And that will do it. Wildcats force overtime against Alburnett, but they do ultimately fall to the Pirates by a final of 71-58. And the Pirates improve to 15-2 on the year, 10-2 in the conference. Wildcats fall to 12-8, 8-4 in conference play. I'll have the final numbers in just a moment. And again, our final score here in overtime is 71-58, Alburnett. So here's the final numbers. First for Alburnett, they were led in scoring by Braden Osborne. He had 15. Grayson Carolyn added 13. Jordan Caton had 12. Titan Bowers had 14 points for the Pirates. Mason Neighbor had 9, and Peyton Baker added 5. Also had Adam Neighbor add 1 point. For Central City, it was Matthew Klosterman with 22 points leading the way. Makai Benson had 13. Aiden Klosterman with 12. Also had Jaden Hansen pitch in 4, as did Braden Rickles. And Castor Abernathy finished with 3 points for Central City. So again, our final score in overtime, Alburnett wins it 71-58. They improve to 15-2, 10-2 in the conference. Wildcats fall to 12-8, 8-4 in conference play. Wildcats will be back in action coming up on Tuesday at East Buchanan for the boys and the girls. The boys will conclude their regular season on the 7th at Maquoketa Valley. Neither of those games will be on the Wildcat Sports YouTube page, but I will have postseason coverage on the Wildcat Sports YouTube channel. I plan to follow the Wildcats wherever they go through their postseason assignments. So once those come out, certainly feel free to tune in to all the coverage of Wildcat basketball in the postseason here on the Wildcat Sports YouTube page. So that is going to do it for me. Quite possibly just broadcast for the last time here in the Central City Gym, and can't say thank you enough to everybody who tuned in to listen. Could not do these broadcasts if nobody listened and didn't have any viewership, so certainly appreciate all the support of these Wildcat Sports broadcasts. So until we get to postseason play and we speak again, I'm David Warrington saying good night and go Cats.